Hello, hello, hello! Hello, everyone! Welcome, 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 welcome to the show! Oh, that's a weird video YouTube recommended me. Hello, everyone. Okay. Alright. Holy shit, 3 parts! Wow! Okay, let's pause this. We could, stop that for a bit. Da, 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 da. Let's see. That's not what I want. I want... No, no, no. There we go.
What?
Whoa.
What?
I really was not joking when I said you should hire Underground Revolution for editing. DMC1.
Wow, what text is this? Ah, it's that one. We hide that. Yeah, well, I don't know. I like his editing, so I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Not against it. Not against hiring the guy. He does good work. Oh my god. I want I want Eliza in the frame. God damn it. Oh no. I tried to get this to work just fine yesterday, before the stream, and well, look who looks dumb now, dude. I got an idea. Got an idea. We're gonna put Eliza in front like that. Okay, and we're gonna shrink her. We're gonna shrink her down a bit. I kind of wanted to shrink her down a while, but such a big file. Yeah. Yeah, I got the 3 best girls on screen, dude. I got Cleo, then I got Eliza looking up at Cleo like, oh, look at that bun up there. And then we got Raggy at the bottom. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. But thanks for the dollar tip, Barrierios. Briarios. Oh my god. Hecaton Crees Kyers. Uh I'm sure that's how you say his name. I'm sure I did not butcher it at all. It's the perfect way to say it, for sure. I know I'm right. All right. Got some bad news for you guys. I'm hungry, so I got some food. I got some lunch for me, so I'm gonna be eating some lunch while I watch this. I hope you guys are okay with that. Oh, I need to fix one thing. Oh my god, I'm never done. Eliza needs to be a little bigger now because she needs to fill out, yeah, like that, and then we can take the that. We can put it at the bottom as always. Yeah, okay, that should be good. We should be good now. Okay. All right. So he's watching the bun spin. Yeah, exactly. The rolling bun. All right, let's get into it. Wait a second.
Dark Side Phil here. Welcome to Ask the King, episode 76. This is the 76th episode of the show. Holy crap. I know, I've done a lot of these, haven't I?
Every beginning of every Ask the King, he is like flabbergasted by the number. Next Ask the King, episode 77. Welcome to episode 77 of Ask the King. Oh my god, 77 episodes, man. That's a lot of episodes. We're getting close to 80. Episode 80. Episode 80 of Ask the King. Guys, we're like 20 episodes away from 100. Wow, that's a lot of episodes.
Today is May 31st, 2019. So We're at the very end of May.
Oh my god,
There's a
the
lot
duck lips.
I've done a lot of these, haven't I? Today
Look at the duck
is
lips.
May 31st, 2019. So,
Oh no, I missed it.
the 6th episode of the show. There's a lot to talk about, and I've done a lot of these, haven't I? Today is May 31st, 2019. So,
Pucker up, bitch. He does these. He did a lot of these puckered lips in this Ask the King. It was very weird. I didn't know how I felt about it the whole time.
we're at the very end of May. There's a lot to talk about on Ask the King. We got a lot of good questions this time around. Good variety of questions, both from forum posters as well as people on Twitter. If we have opportunity later in the show, we will also take some questions from stream chat.
I almost forgot to raise Drux Vidal's audio. So I'm sure I'm gonna get a comment. Oh, the audio's low. Oh my god. Then I'm gonna be like, wait, watch the rest of the show, dude.
This is kind of a hype season. We're in the midst of some good new game releases. We're right before E3. There's a lot of attention and hype on games and stuff right now.
Eliza is trash as Ash. All hail Valentine top tier bay.
Well, I'm not super against that either. I like Valentine. She was like one of my first mains in Skullgirls. Like the vanilla Skullgirls. I was Philia, Valentine, and then I got into Misfortune because I won one match with her online. But no, you're wrong about Eliza being trash. I can explain. I can agree that you like Valentine. Valentine's cool, but Eliza being trash. That must be a detractor meme. Has to be. Wish I could be. I wish I could eat something. Yeah. If you've been waiting for. Oh. Well, I'm glad. I get to oblige you with this.
And I'm excited for another Q&A show. Now, last time I did Ask the King 2 months ago, we were uncertain about the future of the show. We were wondering, does the show even have a place? Because it was like pulling teeth to get questions for the show. I'm not going to lie. It took a while to get questions for this episode too, but I think some of these questions are quite good. We'll see how the show goes today. And again, we'll keep playing it by ear.
So, hold on. I want to see if it's in the YouTube video, but oh my god.
Hello everyone and welcome.
They should make Zone a Skullgirl. Zone? What? Hold on, but I want to see something.
Hello everyone. Darkside Phil.
Dude, it's the same fucking hello everyone. Holy shit. Hello everyone. Let's see. Oh my god. MLB. What? There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MLB The Show 19. Are much harder to hit. Let's just.
Oh, it's not in the YouTube video. Fucking. So in MLB, this is the same day as Ask the King. Here he tells us, well, there was a lot of questions, and then in MLB we had a lot of questions. Which is it? Do you have a lot of questions or not? What the fuck?
And if you guys feel that this is a show that should continue every other month, like I've always done it, then I'll keep doing it. But if at any point you guys feel the show has gotten stale and it's something that maybe I should stop doing, then we'll stop doing it. So let's see how it goes. Fair enough?
Oh my, wait, did I miss another duck clip?
To start before
I think I missed another duck clip. We have to get the duck clip.
If the show has gotten stale and it's something that maybe I should stop doing, then we'll stop doing it. So let's see how it goes. This is a show that should continue every other month, like I've always done it, then I'll keep doing it. But if at any point you guys feel the show has gotten stale and it's something that maybe I should stop doing, then we'll stop doing it. So let's see how it goes.
Another fucking puckered lips. Did he like want to kiss his fans? That's his like. You know when you're a kid and you do something wrong and you want to like your parents to like be kind to you, you're like, "Mom, I didn't mean to do it." You like kind of pucker your lips up to kind of make them feel bad. He literally he's doing that to his fans. Guys, do you want to see this continue? Oh my god.
Fair enough. All right, I got a couple quick shout outs to start before we begin with the show. Goma Naru Merchant did a 90-bit cheer and says, I noticed you had Final Fantasy IX on your dashboard the other day. Any chance you'll ever stream it? I've already explained I'm playing it this summer.
Guys,
when I finish with
guys, obviously if you see a game on his dashboard, those are all games he'll never play. How does this guy think he's not gonna play fucking Final Fantasy IX at this point? But okay.
Phoenix Wright Trials of Tribulations, I'm playing that as the RPG of the summer. That's why I have it on there. But I need to finish Phoenix Wright first, which is why I've now.
Oh god. So I'm gonna get to the chase because this has been a question that has been that people ask him all the time. What would I have done if I weren't a content creator? Well, I probably would just lurk on the internet and do what I'm doing now, I guess. I know I have such a great option. Oh yeah, he did that with Dissidia, but he like went out of his way to say that he's gonna do Final Fantasy IX like every second he has a chance to.
The frequency I'm playing Phoenix Wright to 2 times a week. And Straight Cash Homie, give me a $5 tip. Thank you very much. He says, Ask the King is back. I'm so hyped. Thank you, Straight Cash Homie. I appreciate that very much. Let's go ahead and get this up to $16 in tips for the show as we begin. All right, guys. So, just a reminder, okay? Multiple ways you could submit questions for Ask the King. The first, you could do it right now. Head over to my forums on thekingofhate.com. There's already a thread there for the next episode, which is tentatively scheduled for July 25th, 2019. We'll see if it actually ends up being that or if it gets bumped. Sometimes it changes. But you could already post up your questions on my forums. In addition, if you become a patron of mine on my Patreon, there is a perk level where you get your question answered guaranteed on the show. And the first questions that we're answering today are from a longtime supporter and patron. All right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's answer the question from the patron who wanted to get his question answered. So his name is Planet Jeff. You may recognize him. He's a longtime supporter and fan of mine. And he asked a few things. Let's go ahead and go through them. He says, hey, Phil, just wanted to hope that you would catch this question in time for tomorrow. He actually posted it up last night. I've loved following you over the years and have always enjoyed your content, your weird and quirky, humorous bend on games, calling out the craptastic, and praising the unsung worthy offerings. I know your choices are often limited, but they're way more than mine. It's also very cool that extreme financial distress notwithstanding, you found a job you truly love. It's so sad that many people can't say that because, flipping burgers, anyone? But it's awesome for you that you have.
Oh my God.
Now, again, taking money out of the picture, but stress notwithstanding, you found a job you truly love. It's so sad that many people can't say that because, flipping burgers, anyone? But it's awesome for you that you have. Enjoyed your content, your weird and quirky, humorous bend on games, calling out the craptastic, and praising the
quirky humor. How is this humor quirky? It's like a child could come up with this humor. Oh my god, this game is doo-doo, dude. Eck. Okay. But I love... Now, Tevin thinks that, thought, I guess, that, DSP was just kind of saying, added the flipping burgers. I think Planet Jeff wrote that, because his fans really kind of take the meme of, oh my god, 9 to 5 jobs are stupid, are terrible, blah blah blah, so they kind of shit on them for no reason, but whatever. Because, like, DSP went out of his way before to say, like, oh my god, if you work at, like, a burger restaurant, man, I feel sorry for you. I mean, that's such a hard job, and blah blah blah. Like, he kind of, like, overly, empathizes with them, I guess.
Unsung worthy offerings. I know your choices are often limited, but they're way more than mine. It's also very cool that extreme financial distress notwithstanding, you out the craptastic, and praising the unsung worthy offerings. I know your choices are often limited, but they're way more than mine. It's also very cool that extreme financial distress notwithstanding, you found a job you truly love. It's so sad that many people can't say that because, flipping burgers, anyone? But they're way more than mine. It's also very cool that extreme financial distress notwithstanding, you found a job you truly love. It's so sad that many people can't say that because, flipping burgers, anyone?
it's sad that many people can't say that. And then Sean, oh, I guess, well, maybe he did add that. I don't fucking know, but either way, who fucking cares? Like, why is it like, uh,
But it's awesome for you that you have. Now, again, taking money out of the picture because you wouldn't have to work for more than money. Can you think of any other job that you could have done for this long and also called it a job you would love doing, even if
restaurant.
making money at it was just as hard? I joke that being an official game reviewer might be one, but I've heard you rant about that business model many a time.
What?
You know,
Wait, so, okay, let me get this straight. Planet Cook at this point, was wanting to be a game reviewer. And then, since DSP hates reviewers for no good reason, he's like, well, I guess I shouldn't be a game reviewer. Planet Jeff, are you a fucking retard? So DSP pretty much blocks a guy from getting a job because he said reviewing is bad or whatever. Why can't Planet Jeff be a game reviewer and maybe he could do a better job? Like, I mean, like, and a lot of people like kind of shit on Vince Fatman because I see Phoenix Rush brought it up, but you know, at least Venomous Fatman kind of tries. He puts effort into what he does. I mean, it's his videos are whatever. They're not great videos, but they're not bad videos. I might have covered like one video of his that he did, but overall, it's like he at least tries to create his own content. Like, I do kind of respect him out of all of the people in the DSP universe. In the DSP cinematic universe, Venomous Batman is like the only one that like tries. Brian, I don't know much about, so I can't really speak about him as much. Kekken is fucking Kekken. I mean, it's Kekken. I mean, Rambo and Howard kind of do their own thing. I mean, they're almost in their own league at this point. They kind of branched off to their own spin-offs. But it is what it is.
Over the years, there's different various things that I've wanted to do. When I was younger, I always dreamed that I wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer, and then I wanted to go to the army. And then as I grew up, I realized those things.
Oh yeah. Was that why in the story about the army he didn't plan on being in the army? He talked to a recruiter, and the recruiter was a dick to him.
Were incredibly dangerous and probably not things that I wanted to do. Then as I got older, I thought that maybe I would want to be a computer programmer.
I like how you want to be like all these things kids want to be, which is fine. I mean, if you're a kid, I mean, it's fine to say like, oh, I was like every other kid wanting to be a firefighter and this and that. But I mean, okay.
And make computer programs and maybe eventually video games, and that fell through when the whole tech bubble burst in the early 2000s when I was actually going to.
The tech bubble burst in a. That makes no sense. It makes even less sense with his age, because around his time, like, people were kind of saying like, hey, technology is going to be big in the future. Like, around that, I mean, like, how can you say the tech bubble burst when it was like a blossoming career? Because there wasn't a lot of people that did it because you know, because no one did it. I mean, the one career that's kind of bursting is the medical field. I mean, there's a lot of schools that are having a hard time accepting applicants because there's a lot of people that are going to be a doctor or wanting to get into that field. So, you know, the medical career might be getting harder to get into. The tech industry is always expanding. It's always growing. So how can it burst when especially like when he was in college? Wouldn't someone tell him, hey, Phil, you should go into the tech industry because it's a blossoming era. Not a lot of people are doing it right now, but it's going to be in high demand in the future. You should go get it so you could get in easily. No! The teacher who taught the class, he didn't know anything. He was a nerd and knew the things, but didn't know how to teach the things, dude. What? It's so fucking dumb. And it makes no sense when he went to school how it burst when there was like no harsh social media at the time. I mean, during that time, like, Facebook was only for college students. They didn't allow anyone on it until they opened it to everyone. Twitter wasn't wasn't that big. I mean, it's to me at least, it doesn't sound like it makes much sense how the tech bubble burst at that time. I mean, I think it. I think you could argue more now that it might start to burst, but I mean, even then, like the internet's ever expanding and games are still being made. There's still new companies being made. So how like if the tech industry is so like finite and the whole thing bursts, then why are we still getting new companies? Why are new games still being made? Like there's even a shortage in some cases. Like Arc System couldn't even work on the Kill la Kill game fully. They had to send the project to A Plus, who did the Little Academia game. They couldn't do the whole thing because they were working so many other games at the time. But it burst, dude. Okay.
To school, university, for my degree, there was no jobs in that sector anymore. So
University.
that
By the
fell
way,
through.
he went to a college. He says university because there are people that because a university and college are pretty much the same. So some people like interchange it, but since he's so cucked by his viewers, he calls it the European terms. Like because of because in Europe they call college universities. So he's like, hey man, my viewers are all European. I'm just gonna say universities. I'm gonna sound way cooler. I'm gonna sound more prestigious than I actually am. And that's why when he talks about football, he says American football instead of just football, because apparently his viewers can't fathom that an American would call the sport of their nation football.
So then I went to school for business, and that really didn't amount to anything. Like literally everything I tried to do just
How
didn't.
did business not amount to anything? Doesn't he pride himself of being a business major and knowing how to run a business? Doesn't he run a business? He tells us every day he runs a business. So how did the degree amount to nothing? It amounted to at least something. It might not be to its full capacity, but it amounted to something. But okay. Sure. Sure, okay.
Pan out. Then later in life, when I actually started making money at stuff, I was like, man, some other things. Maybe one day I would like to open my own business that's not an internet-based business, maybe a brick and mortar store of some sort. But you think, what kind of a store would succeed that's not a franchise, right? So I thought maybe open up my own restaurant, an Italian restaurant or something like that.
What?
Of course, everyone knows restaurants are incredibly risky, right?
Wait. Oh my god, this makes no sense. Businesses don't survive unless it's a franchise. But I want to start my own restaurant. That's not a franchise, so wouldn't that also fail? And also, things don't have to be a franchise to succeed. There's a lot of local cafes in my area that are still thriving. They're not a chain, yet somehow they're thriving. I wonder how. I wonder how they're thriving. I should go ask them how they're thriving, dude. How can a local business thrive in a community? It's a mystery, guys. The world will never know.
Right? I would say the only other thing outside of what I do now, because I love what I do for a living, no, no lie. Um, the bottom line is, I would love to.
Oh
Do
yeah, he
something
loves what he does. That's why like I posted a picture like of when he was done with the retrospective. He was like, "See you tomorrow," woo! And then he goes back to dead silence to hit end stream.
creative, maybe be a writer, director. I don't know. Like I always thought about, man, I would like to do a cool, epic kind of a series, a television show.
Oh, this is good.
The bottom line is, I would love to do something creative, maybe be a writer.
I would love to do something creative. I thought what you do now is creative. I want to do something creative. I'm my own boss, man. I love it. I love this. What? Uh,
Director. I don't know.
a writer or director. Imagine if this is the guy that directs you in a scene. Alright, Brad Pitt, can you, try the scene again? But instead of sounding like you did, sound better. What does that mean, Phil? Better, like, oh my god, Brad Pitt, you're an actor! Do I have to do the work for you? Oh my god, you're supposed to fucking act, Brad Pitt. You're not acting. What the fuck? Oh,
Like, I always thought about, man, I would like to do a cool, epic kind of a series, a television show that's kind of like an anime.
a television show that's like an anime. What does that mean, you might ask? Well,
Like a television show that has this really awesome branching, arcing a plot line with multiple characters. That's kind of like an anime.
a branching, overarching plot with branches and characters. So you want to make a TV show then? Now, this is why, like, him saying that he's a huge anime fan is a load of shit, because he acts as if anime is, like, its own genre. Anime is fucking anime. It's animation. You could have a thriller animation, a romantic cartoon, whatever. So him saying, "Well, I want it to be like anime," makes no fucking sense. Does he want to make a show that's like Alita, where he has like they give him like big eyes? Like, he sounds so ignorant about anime. It blows my mind. He talks to the go like it's like talking to your parents. Like my mom, who's a boomer because she was born in the 50s. Obviously, sound good. It's like asking her about anime. I remember I was watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and my mom came in, and she was like, "Why do you like this? What is this? Like, I like how they act as if this is so serious, Theo. What the fuck?" That's how DSP is about anime. It's so weird, man. That's why, like I would love for DSP to watch Kill la Kill. If he watches that show, I would love to see his review of it, because I guarantee he would not make it past 5 seconds, or maybe he would, but maybe he won't make it past episode 1. He'll watch one episode and be like, there's a show me and Kat, my wife, we watched called Kill la Kill, and it was really weird. Like, you have a character that became naked, and it was eating the clothes, was talking to her. It was really weird. Uh this show must be for kids, because it was hypersexualized. And as you guys know, I'm more mature now. I have a wife, so I can't be watching shows like this that's so hypersexualized. And it turned me off. I mean, it's so fucking weird, And whoever fucking recommended to me, I don't know. This is like weird anime stuff. I mean, it's not for me. I don't know how it's allowed on Hulu. Huh? It would be so awkward. And then like Kat would be like, no, well, Phil, I don't like the tits. Because she seems like the kind of girl that probably doesn't like. You know what? I think Kat is what neutered DSP. I think Kat's the kind of person that like if you that like I think like DSP like showed her his old content, and she was the one that was like, Phil, I liked your content, but I don't like the sex jokes. They're not that funny, Phil. You're right. I agree. Because like when we say, "Oh, that's sexist DSP," no, it's a joke. Deal with it. Kat says it. Okay, I agree. You're right.
Series. I always thought about that, and I always had a couple ideas in my head. And of course, I'm not going to talk about those ideas just in case. But
Just in case of what? So he won't tell us his ideas because he's afraid that he might want to make the show anyway. Okay. So the guy who wants to be a Twitch streamer, who wants to focus solely on Twitch streaming, wants to maybe want to work on a series. Well, he's nearing the age of 40. Something's not connecting with this. I don't know what it is. Someone may have to figure it out, dude.
You know, there's a few ideas I had in my head for a cool story you can Americanize at the plot of an anime and almost turn it into a cool TV show or something.
Wait, what?
I'm not going to talk about those ideas just in case, but, you know, there's a few ideas I had in my head for a cool story you can Americanize at the plot of an anime and almost...
Take a plot of an anime and Americanize it. So, he wants to do Dragon Ball Evolution level of work. You know what? Let's go to YouTube. We're gonna watch this funny video. Kill 4 kids.
Riley Matthews is the new kid at
This is the tier of content DSG wants to make. An Americanized anime.
school. However,
Who put my father into jail?
she's here to find out who put her innocent dad into jail. She attends the high school of Washington Heights, where the bullies are to find out the biggest secrets. She meets the top 4 bullies. Gregory,
Every student that misbehaves must be disciplined.
Inigo,
I'll hack your computers in seconds.
Sanjay,
I can take on 100 students and still win.
and Jackie Z.
This battle needs a little more Beethoven. Music to my ears.
But the biggest bully of them all at the school is Stacy Kristen.
Can you take on all 4 of my top bullies, Riley?
But there's no way Riley can take them all on her own. Her best friend, Maddie Madison,
You've got this, Riley! I, Maddie Madison, have got you covered!
and teacher, Arthur McDoodle,
Believe in yourself, Riley.
are there on the sidelines to cheer her on.
My friends are all here to support me. Because that's what friends do.
But Riley has a top secret weapon that will make Stacy shiver in fear. Sam Ketchup is a special fighting machine that will enhance Riley's powers with ketchup. But Sam Ketchup can only turn into a hot dog with the suit. However, the suit packs huge enhancing abilities. Built for power. Built for speed. Built for victory. Stacy knows this secret weapon of Riley's and has her own secret weapon as well.
You may have Sam Ketchup, but I have my own secret weapon.
Sam
Yeah.
Ketchup's brother,
We're the 4
Jim
kids
Ketchup,
version.
has been passed down the Kristen family for generations. Stacy's power can transform into a hamburger. Now she's a lot more powerful than Riley's power, and she's gonna give Riley Matthews a hard time.
Sam, let's rock and roll.
Oh my god, the level of work! The level of work in this! I have to give props to this guy. This is a really good, well thought out video. Oh my god. Look how much work they put into it. Fucking hamburgers and hot dogs. And then the fucking cheesy dubstep.
Now it's Riley Matthews' job to stop the biggest bullies and find out who put her father in jail.
He's an innocent man.
Let's have some sandwiches after this, alright?
Riley, you have the power in you to stop these bullies once and for all.
Will Riley Matthews put a stop to the bullies and save her innocent dad from jail?
Stacy Kristen, your bullying days are over after I'm done with you. Just
Bullying
try me, Riley
days are
Matthews.
over.
Find out on Bully. Blah, Bully!
But yeah, that is the level of work he wants to fucking do. That's what he wants to fucking do. I want to do an Americanized anime? You might as well just watch a 4Kids version of an anime. I'll keep it just in case. It might grow on me. I'll keep it.
Almost turn it into a cool TV show or something. But I have no money. I have no directorial skills. This is never going to come to fruition. This is
So then why not tell us the story then? What? I love that he's hiding my, well, just in case. I'm never gonna do it. It's never gonna come to fruition, man. Man, it's almost like he doesn't know what he's making shit up. Because, I mean, I think I've said in a stream, like, I have an idea for a comic I want to do. I even, like, list a story on my Patreon, what I kind of want to do with it. And it's ever changing, but, you know, I have ideas. And I have at least a thought to kind of prove, but I should work on an issue 0 to kind of show it more, and I do want to work on that more too. But I at least have like a story idea. What does DSP have? An anime, Americanized anime? Okay.
couple ideas of things that I had over the years that I thought might be fun to do. You know, Project 7 essentially was kind of like, with my limited resources and limited knowledge and limited talent, what I could probably do with that kind of a thing.
Wow.
And then that thing just fell apart, as you.
That he wanted to do Project 7. Project 7 shows the level of work he would put into a comic. Amazing.
You guys know. So at this point, you know, what I do is what I do. I don't really ever foresee myself ever being able to do any of those other things that I kind of thought I might want to do in my life. That's just reality. So, all right. So now we move on to the forum questions. We start off with the question.
Oh, that was it? That was all of the oh my god, that was all of the patrons.
Final, and he asked, what's your thoughts on fighting games over the years? Have they improved or not? Well, as someone who grew up in the 1990s playing Street Fighter II as the very first competitive fighting game ever in arcades, and then went on to become a competitive player in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then you could even say a top-level pro player for a couple years there in the mid-2000s.
Wait a second, let's see the question. Thoughts on if fighting games have improved over the years? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Because I go back to play the old fighting games, and I like them way more than the new ones. But there are things in the new ones I think are improvements to it. I don't know. I don't know. I guess there are improvements, but I think it's improvements depending on the series. Because I don't think Street Fighter improved at all. I think it kind of got worse. I think Street Fighter 4 was more of an improvement to Street Fighter than 5. I mean, Arcade Edition is kind of an improvement, but when you look at Guilty Gear, Skullgirls, Blaze Blue, Tekken, Soul Calibur, I feel like those games have improved over time. And I think Mortal Kombat has also improved. I think 11 has improved over 10, but I still think 9's a little bit better. But I think some of them improved. Not a lot of them. But yeah, that's how I feel.
I can tell you that fighting games have definitely changed. And in some ways, I do feel they're for the better, and in other ways, I feel that it's for far worse. Okay, and here's what I mean by that. Fighting games over time have evolved in many positive ways. Now, when a fighting game comes out, you get a wide roster of characters. You know, back in the day, a game would come out and it would have like 8 characters. Street Fighter 2 had 8 fighters. You know, future iterations had fighters that were kind of like, you know, 12 fighters in the game. Now, a fighting game comes out, typically you get a really good array of characters.
Yeah, but I feel like the new games have a good roster anyway. Like, I feel like, to me, they have enough characters to kind of keep you invested in it still. Like, there's still good characters. They introduced new characters. Like, it's still has Eno. I love Eno. She's a cool character. I like her. Uh, they have still bad guy. There's a few characters I think I miss as well because I played Guilty Gear XX on the Switch, which I loved. I love that game, but I don't know. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear landscapers, dude. They coming to get me, man.
In it. And unlike some of the fighters from back in the day, like Street Fighter Alpha 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, half the cast and those over-bloated rosters wasn't even viable for competitive play. Sure, they were in the game, but they weren't great characters, and they were very hard to play with at a competitive level. The game was very unbalanced. Typically today, when a fighter comes out, at least almost every fighter has a chance for doing something interesting in the game, you know? And they were very hard to play with at a competitive level. The game was very unbalanced. Typically today, when a fighter comes out, at least almost every fighter has a chance for doing something interesting in the game.
Whatever.
You know,
I hear that completely too with Alpha 3, but
in general,
I thought it was fine.
I think that fighting games have more varied and balanced casts. Also, just the variety of characters in games now. You know, back in the day, you would have like 3 archetypes: the grappler, the projectile zoner, and the hybrid, and that was it. Now in fighting games, there's like characters that have projectiles plus grapples plus this, like a jack of all trades. You got characters that are just oddball characters. You can't even really describe what the hell they're supposed to be. I think that's good because variety makes things better.
But the games he plays, there's not a lot of jack of all trades crazy characters though. Street Fighter V has the most base roster you could find. Like the only oddball character in that game is like Rose, Minot, Abigail, but Abigail, whatever. G is also weird. Ed and the other one, Falk. But overall, the majority of them is pretty whatever. Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue, I think, are the ones with the weirdest fucking characters that I've seen. Like, there's ones that just operate so fucking weird, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, what was the one in Guilty Gear XX? It's like Zappa. It's like a zombie guy that like comes from a horror movie, pretty much. But whatever.
Rather than just being the same plain old formulas followed over and over. Okay.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, I think we can admit that graphics, holy shit, have improved over the years. You know, old school fighting games were just 2D plain, hand-drawn, pixelated artwork, while now you get full-on 3D, everything, giant explosion graphics or whatever. A lot of people just watch these games because they're flashy eye candy and never even understand what they're like to play at a competitive level. I mean, the whole Marvel vs. Capcom series, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and all that, that was...
Oh yeah, because Infinite is so flashy and appealing to the eye, right? Now, he says, like, it's flashy, this, that, but people love sprites, too. I mean, I feel like there's a level of... There's people can watch a fighting game that has sprites. It depends on the quality of the sprites, but... like, if you watch Skullgirls, oh man, those sprites. If you're gonna tell me the sprites look ugly in Skullgirls, you better leave. Skullgirls has really good sprites, the best sprites. Skullgirls, Third Strike, Alpha 3. There was another fighting game I like that's a sprite game too. Guilty Gear XX has good sprites too. I like the sprites in that game. Like the 3D models I don't like at all. The only 3D models I like are like Guilty Gear Xrd and DBZ Dragon Ball Fighters because those at least are 3D models that look so stylized with it. Because a lot of fighters that do 3D, they just do it because it's cheap. And it looks unfinished. Because when you just translate a sprite model to 3D, and you add no detail, it looks ugly. Like that's why I didn't buy King of Fighters 14. I like King of Fighters 13, but 14 looks so fucking ugly. Smash has its own style to it. Like the characters have their own style. They put detail in the character models. Like there's a style going on with Smash Brothers, so it at least can like kind of stand out. Like if you're doing a 3D model, you kind of have to have a style with it. You have to find a way to make it look appealing, uh, because it's a whole new dimension. You don't have the excuse of like, well, it's artwork, and you could do this crazy line art with it. I mean, it's not. You know what I mean.
Was why that series was popular, not because it was competitively good, but because it was so amazing to watch. It was fun to watch, right? But you know what I would say is over time, from being an old school player, I really feel that fighting games have kind of become more washed out and more watered down. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, if you wanted to be good at fighting games at a competitive level, you had to really work your ass off. You had to go to the arcades. You had to go to tournaments constantly. You had to play people in person because that was really the only way that you could be exposed to high-level competition. You had to play these people in person. There was no YouTube to share videos. There was no live streaming so you could see shit on launch day, the abusive shit in the game. It took a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And in addition, back then, oh my god, the input windows to play these games,
Oh my
there was
god.
no input shortcuts. There was no, you know what I mean? Like all the things that make a game easy to play right now. You could never, ever back in the day, play a fighting game on a pad like this. Forget it. You would try, you'd buy the home version of the game, and you're like, fuck, I can't do half the stuff I could do, you know, on an arcade cabinet on this controller because the game is so control intensive.
The question is about how if the game's improved. Why are we getting lore about fighting games? Did you know that back in the it's like asking me, Theo, did Skullgirls improve in Second Encore? Well, you see, Skullgirls is a fighting game made by Lab Zero. Now, Lab Zero is made from other people, and they want to do their own fighting game. They they want to do stuff that's like Darkstalkers and other fighting games, and they made Skullgirls. And Skullgirls is a 2D fighter, and it has good inputs. It's fun. It's an addicting game. Okay, but Theo, did they improve it in Second Encore? Well, you see, Skullgirls came out on multiple platforms. And it's like it's like you're not answering the question. Come on.
Good luck getting those tick throw combos, those perfect reversal shoryukens and all that.
Yeah, the input shortcuts are necessary for controllers because you're not gonna get exact directional inputs as much. I've tried that with Mortal Kombat. I turned the shortcuts off, and I couldn't get a single move to come out. Like at least like the special moves, I could get the combos to come out, but I couldn't get like the nut punch to come out consistently. So I had to turn the shortcuts on to at least get the nut punch out on a better frequency. It just tends to happen, like, but okay.
Hard to pull those moves off. In the modern era, everything has a shortcut and everything has an easy mode way to do it. And they did that because they wanted to appeal to the modern masses and make fighting games more mainstream. They realized, man, modern fighting games are great at a competitive level, but it really just appeals to a small kind of a niche audience. If we made this game more accessible to the masses, then the game would be better and we would sell more. But in reality, what happened is the games became more and more watered down. Instead of having a high skill level to play at a competitive level, now the games have a mid to low skill level to play at a competitive level. Games like Street Fighter V, where the entire game is based on pattern play, because they add...
Be a second. I'm just gonna drop off the plate, so I'll be back. I'm gonna mute the mic so we'll put the headphones down. You don't hear a slam, so I'll be back. Lead in, turn on the mic! Alright, I'm back. I did end up getting a drink and I forgot the phone. Very important to the stream. We need the phone, guys. Very important. And don't do... Even though shortcuts are usually simple, things like press 2 buttons at once, they don't do drag and punches for you. Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, like for inputs though, like it kind of like gets the direction that I want to do. I know it doesn't do the move for me, but it does enough that's like I do like a percentage of the work, and then the game fills in the blanks. So it's fine. My thumb can't exactly press 2 certain buttons at once all the time. That might be a different layout because like I feel like inputs are more like it's more lax with the inputs. I don't know. Whatever.
Added so much input lag to when you press the button and when your move actually comes out in the game, the entire game becomes a pattern rather than reactionary gameplay. Oh, someone made a mistake. Time to react with the reversal move that I can blow through, and now I can take control of the match.
Now this I don't understand. How do you know someone made a mistake? And people make mistakes even now during fighting games. Like there are times where I play a game and you know, I might do something and it's like, oh fuck, I didn't mean to do that. I mean, accidents still happen. And how many times have you heard DSP say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh my god, during MK11? But okay.
Instead of that, it's more like do a pattern, guess, do a pattern, 50-50 mix-up, do a pattern. And that's...
Isn't most fucking games a pattern? And this is coming from a guy that literally does nothing but patterns with his playstyle. You go watch him play fucking Street Fighter. He picks Ryu, does the combo, ends with the throw. Combo, throw, combo, throw. That's not a pattern. Then you bring it up to me. I remember one time in Ultra Street Fighter 2, someone said, hey man, you're spamming with, I think it was either Dalsim or Chun-Li. And his response was, no! It wasn't a spam. I wasn't spamming. I'm punishing the character, okay? That's what this is. I'm using this combo to punish him. So no matter what you say, he always wins, dude. Sound good?
Really essentially not.
Oh, and I don't know if I said thank you. By the way, Arizona Made Gamer, thank you for the $1. I think I did thank you, but I just want to say for the record.
To start with, when they were competitive back in the day, they were about reactionary gameplay, mix-ups, and footsies. And now 2 of those 3 things aren't really in modern fighting games, and that can be really frustrating. To some extent, that's not true. Like, if you take a look at a game like Mortal Kombat 11, that game actually now took a step back from more pattern play and actually tried to become more of a hardcore reactionary fighter with things like reversal wake-ups, and more timing of anti-airs and corner combos totally toned down how they used to be even in the franchise. Fighter with things like reversal wake. Like, if you take a look at a game like Mortal Kombat 11, that game actually now took a step back from more pattern play and actually tried to become more of a hardcore reactionary.
He plays as fucking Geras in Mortal Kombat 11. Fucking Geras. The cheesiest of the cheese. How much money do I have to pay to hear a conversation between your Oh, I see. I don't know. I don't know. Because that's incorporating 2 people into the equation. But he plays this fucking Geras. Like that character is so broken. There's a lot of meme videos about how broken Geras is. He has insane fucking throw ranges. He could do whatever. I mean, he's a terrible fucking character, and there's no patterns. Fucking fighting against a Liu Kang DSP while you're playing a character that's not Geras, and come back to me on that.
Fighter with things like reversal wake-ups, and more timing of anti-airs and corner combos being totally toned down how they used to be even in the franchise. So maybe there is a step in the right direction, at least with certain fighting game franchises, but then you look at a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, the entire game is rushed down in mix-ups.
Now, I love that he's shitting on fucking Dragon Ball Fighters when he did nothing but praise the game for being a very good fighter. Dragon Ball Fighters is probably a really good crossover, not crossover, a versus fighter. It has good teams. It's really good. It's probably very competitive. It's better. It's the best fighting game. Well, it's a very like rushed out game. No. A video with Tevin? No. But no, like Dragon Ball Fighters has variety in it. It's more than just rushdown. If you do nothing but rushdown, you can get punished for that easily because you have a move. I don't know what it's called. But it's circle on the PS4 game. If you press circle, you could just kind of stop what they're doing and then makes them vulnerable. So if you just do nothing but rushing down the character, you get bodied. You get punished for doing that. It's a game that really requires a lot of reaction. The thing that DSP wants in fighting games, but okay.
And like, I'm not saying the game's not good. I'm just saying that game is not a game that's like in the tradition of what you would look for of an old school fighter. So things change over time. And if
of course things change, but the question is, do they improve? Did it improve over time?
You're someone who played fighting games in the last 5 to 10 years only, and you didn't play old school fighters, and you didn't play the core of Street Fighter 4 when it was at launch and all of that, and you are not aware of how things have changed over the years, and you only played the more easier fighters to play, you might not see any changes or any issue in any of this. And that's okay. You know, that's not your fault. And certainly no one's saying...
Dude, I started with newer fighters, and I see the improvements over the fucking games. Like, you play Street Fighter 1, you're gonna see, wow, man, when they went from Street Fighter 1 to 2, they really improved. He did a whole fucking series last year. Oh my god. The Street Fighter not challenge, what was it? It was some dumb shit. But, you know what? We're gonna go on a field trip. Disp Gaming? Oh, it might be a pain in the ass to find, actually.
Hello, everyone. Darkside.
The more I think about it, it might be a pain in the ass. Street Fighter. Let's just do that, see what that pulls up. There it is, the DSP's history of Street Fighter. He did this whole fucking thing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Darkside Phil here, and welcome to something very different. Something that normally I would not do. But I'm a lifelong lifelong player, and fan of the Street Fighter franchise is what I meant to say. Although I guess I am a viewer too, because I certainly spent hundreds of hours watching people play one until basically arcades kind of died in the early to mid 2000s. I was the person right there in line with my quarter up on the machine, ready to play. Reactionary moves, reversals, anti-airs, combo, all these things originated from the Street Fighter.
Whatever. He did a video series going over the changes and improvements of each fucking Street Fighter. And here, a guy asks him if he's seen any improvements. Well, I don't know, man. Things change, and you might have a different appearance. Why in Ask the King, he is so concerned with how a random person would answer the question? We're asking the king. We're not asking the people. We're not asking the people of the world these questions. We're asking DSP, the guy. We're asking you, DSP. That's the whole point of this video series. Why is it like, well, it depends on what kind of person you are. That's not the question. We're asking you, DSP. Isn't this the whole point of Asking the King, is to ask for your opinions on things?
Have skill. I mean, fighting games still take a lot of grind, a lot of dedication, and a lot of commitment in order to get good at competitively. But it's just different than it used to be back in the day. Instead of it being, you know, execution skill and hardcore practice, it's more like it's just harder.
Oh, by the way, do you like how he shaved his beard? It looks back like a fake goatee's on his face again.
To explain, like having to know I need to execute my pattern perfectly and guess, It's almost like gambling in a lot of ways.
It's
You know, when you
gambling.
go to the casino and you play
Because you
poker,
never guess in any other fighter. You just know when. So you could go to Super Turbo and you pick Chun Li and you're gonna do all the combos that you have. What? Why does he think that there's no guessing in fighting games innately? There's always been guessing. So you're telling me that if you play Super Turbo, if you pick a character, you're gonna play a certain way because it's that character? I don't know. Whatever.
right? And you're trying to read someone's poker face. Gee, I wonder if they're going to block low, block high, or try to blow through with a reversal, and you have to guess correctly. It's kind of like, gee, I wonder if this guy's bluffing with his hand, or if he has a tell to read what he's actually going to do in this situation. It almost like playing poker and gambling rather than it actually being a competitive thing that you're reacting to what's going on in the game. And that's a different thing. It's still competitive. I mean,
But sure, you're guessing to do a move, but the other guy's gonna do a move, and you can kind of predict what's gonna happen. Like, you could tell when you're gonna have he's gonna be free. Like,
look at gambling. Poker is incredibly competitive, right? But it's different. And for someone like me who's been around the block and played the old school stuff, I like the old school stuff better. I really do.
yeah, I just don't understand what he's talking about when he says these things. It makes no sense to me. Because in a fighting game, you have moves, you have combos to put in, but you're not. But you know the other guy might. Like if you do nothing but projectiles, you're gonna know that either the guy's gonna block or he's gonna dodge. So you have to really use projectiles in a smart way because if you keep doing it, the guy might get around it and learn what to do. Like you can't just rely on one trick. Ugh.
I would much rather play Super Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, over any modern
That's
fighting.
not the question. No, the question wasn't what game would you rather play. It was, do you see any improvements?
And that's just the God's honest truth. I would still play that game to this day because, yeah, is there some guessing and gambling involved in the game? Yes. But more often than not, it's more about timing, strategy, footsies, setups, and reactionary gameplay than any of that other stuff. And if you're really good at having great hand-eye coordination, good execution, good reactions, and you know what I mean, you're going to excel at a game like that. Even if someone else found this cheesy pattern that seems to work, you can usually overcome it. In these modern games, you can't because everything's so dumbed down and there's no reactionary gameplay anymore. It's just, how do you beat the cheesy pattern? Find another cheesy pattern that beats it or guess correctly to blow out of it somehow. And to me, that's rock, paper, scissors gameplay. That's
Rock,
gambling
paper,
style
scissors.
gameplay. That's
Okay.
not like true skill. That's just me, though, and that's my opinion. And you can completely, again, if you're someone who hasn't played the old school fighters, you don't even understand that. So to you, you've only played the modern fighters, and you think, well, that's all there is, right? So I understand that. I totally get that. But for me, growing up, I think there's, like I said, better variety of characters and build of characters at launch. And the fact that the graphics are much better. I'll also say this, the fact that games can get patched over time, because I'll be honest with you, like back in the day, an arcade game would come out, that was it. It was very rare if there was like an update patch or a new version of an arcade game. It was
Very rare for a new arcade version. Because Street Fighter 2 didn't have new versions. Huh. Weird.
rare. I would tell you one of the rare exceptions, Mortal Kombat 4, when it was released in arcades, was actually so broken at launch, they had to patch it to even be a functional game. At launch, the game had infinite throws, where you would do a throw to someone. The throws in that game were like holds. So you would show twisting someone's leg, and then you could just run up and twist their leg again. They couldn't do shit. There was no way to break out of it. It was a broken glitch. So that game was so bad, they actually had to re-release the game, a Wave 2, for free to arcade owners.
Oh, Wave
and
2.
it cost Midway, at that time that was the company that owned the Midway, a ridiculous amount of money to fix the problems that they created with the first broken version of the game. But in general, most arcade games didn't get patched, didn't get updated. What you had on that game board or later on that disc, that was the game. So case in point, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that game was rife with bugs and glitches, but they became part of the integral competitive gameplay of the game because there was no opportunity to ever fix any of them. Versus today, where you're playing on launch.
So the glitches and the bugs become part of the game in a competitive level. Isn't that kind of cheesing the game and making it exploitative and broken? Isn't that bad? Remember when DSP didn't like when games were broken at launch and shit? Wow.
What you play 2 weeks from launch versus what you play a month, 6 months down the line could vary drastically as they patch and rebalance the games. That's a double-edged sword. In some cases, that could be a great thing, especially if they really screwed the game up and there's something that's so broken or overpowering at launch. You don't want to be stuck with that for 2 years until they have an official new version of the game, right? So it's good that they can balance patch that stuff out. At the same time, from a competitive standpoint, what if you work your ass off, you learn that version of the game, and now, oh, this is the character that I'm the best with. Oh, they patched that character, now that character sucks ass because they felt that it was too abusive. Well, how is that the competitive player's fault? It's not. And you just wasted character that so it's good that they can balance patch that stuff out. At the same time, from a competitive standpoint, what if you work your ass off, you learn that version of the game, and now, oh, this is the character that I'm the best with. Oh, they patched that character, now that character sucks ass because they felt that it was too abusive. Well, how is that the competitive player's fault? It's
I like how balancing the game suddenly becomes the fault of the player. Like, if the developer fixes the game, it's like, oh, see, it's your guys' fault that we had to fix it. No, they're just fixing the issue. Or what they perceive as an issue. The other thing is that, like, he shits on balance patches, like, oh, well, maybe you learned a version of the game. So what about the Street Fighter 2 players that learned vanilla Street Fighter 2, and then they have Super Street Fighter 2? What about them? Oh, because it's a separate release, so it's okay. I think that's what he would get at. Like if you ask him like, well, DSP, what the patches are pretty much like the new versions of Street Fighter 2 and blah blah blah. It's like, well, yeah, but that was a whole other machine. It doesn't wipe away the other machines. So these patches wipes away all of the balancing from the other version. Oh, okay, because okay.
It's not. And you just wasted 3 months of your life playing that character. Now that character's terrible. You got to completely relearn the game from the ground up. Is that fair? So I see.
Well, if you like the game, you're gonna be fine relearning it. That's how I feel about it. Like I had a friend that doesn't like the new Blaze Blue as much because they ruined Hakumen. He liked the version of him in I think the first Blaze Blue game, the first two, that were on the PS3 and 360. He liked that version of Hakumen. He doesn't like what they did to him now. But I kind of sat there, like, yeah, but if you like the game enough, I feel like you'd be fine relearning the character, even though I think it's true to an extent, I guess, because I guess he liked the old combos and the new combos he doesn't really like. I don't know. And I guess that's why a lot of people like Guilty Gear as well, because those games have pretty much stayed consistent with how they work. Like, I played Ino in the one on the Switch, and she plays almost the same as the one in, like, Revelator 2, which is really cool. I like that. I do like that you can play one version of the game and you pretty much play them all. I do like that as well. But I think a lot of other companies want each game to feel new, I think.
A lot of issues with the way modern games are handled.
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
as
a
much
good,
as I can understand that the way that they're handled could be seen as a positive thing. So for me, it's an ultimate mixed
I
bag.
love that when Craig gets the next, he does this. Like, it looks so fucking. I mean, I guess I do that too sometimes, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm doing like these clown motions about it.
In some ways, fighting games have gotten better over the years, and in a lot of ways, they've gotten worse. It is what it is. Okay. Bagel Goose.
Oh wow! So he ends the question with, "It is what it is." Why? Why is it?
So for me, it's an ultimate mixed bag. In some ways, fighting games have gotten better over the years, and in a lot of ways, they've gotten worse.
Oh, so we got all that lore, all that build up, just to say it's a mixed bag. You fucking cry about each fighting game, and it's like, oh, it's a mixed bag, man. Oh, fuck this game. This game's terrible. The games are dumbed down and terrible. Does that sound like he thinks the games have improved? Why is it a mixed bag? What? Don't Patreon dudes have to pay like $50 to? No, that's for private Q&A. $20 is for Ask the King, and $10 is to get your name in Ask the King, but $50 is for private. You get a little personal camera time with DSP. This is a good screen cap. Fucking mixed bag. Just all of that, just to say it's a mixed bag. A guy who goes out of his way to tell us that fighting games are nowhere near as good as they used to be, and he says it's a mixed fucking bag. Ugh.
It is what it is. Okay?
Oh my god.
Bagel Goose asked for the history of this cowboy hat. Everyone knows the history. I got it in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was the king, and the rest is history. All right, the next question. From Sergio29, he says, any chance to be streaming Game Boy or Game Big?
Oh boy. So, let's see. Would I ever play Game Boy games on stream? I have no way to capture Game Boy games. I guess through the Wii U. But I don't really play the Wii U as much. But I kind of have a feeling I want to do a stream. I want to do a late night stream with it at some point in time in the future, but I don't know when.
Game Boy Color games, like for Ask the King, and the rest is history.
Oh, you already
All right, the
asked
next
this.
question. From Sergio29, he says, any chance to be streaming Game Boy or Game Boy Color games like the Zelda Oracle of Ages or Seasons, Wario Land, Super Mario in the future? It's not out of the question, but I would have to do it through official means. If you guys aren't aware, a few years ago, Nintendo really cracked down on ROMs on the internet. It made it almost impossible to get a ROM of any Nintendo game and play it on, say, an emulator.
It's impossible, dude.
What used to be incredibly viable really isn't so viable anymore. You have to rely on official Nintendo channels and official Nintendo releases in order to play these games. So, perfect example here, if they actually released a digital version of these games for, say, the Wii U Virtual Console or for the Switch or whatever, yeah, I would definitely consider playing said games, absolutely. But if they don't do an official version, there's really no way to do it. In addition, retro games, I have a blast playing them, but doesn't really bring in a mainstream audience. This would have to be something that I would balance with other stuff that would bring in people for a good mix of content.
So then why did you play Donkey Kong Country then? Why are you playing Final Fantasy IX? Why did you play Final Fantasy IV? Why did you play all these retro games? I can't do retro games. This is bringing the mainstream audience. Maybe, guys, maybe, if DSP used his big brain, he has a big brain, guys, he's very smart, he could alternate the chill games with retro games. I know. It's like, maybe he should actually be a variety streamer and not do the same chill games every week. Whoa, guys, that is insane. Imagine if he's like, dude, I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna play fucking, Monday will be retro night, whatever. We'll do retro night sometimes. We'll do like fucking Super Mario World and shit. And then next week, on Monday will be like Minecraft. And then the other Monday will be something else. Dude, what if he actually did variety in his streams? Holy shit.
On my streams. In particular, the games you mentioned, if you're not aware, the Zelda games apparently are going to get remastered. The two Zelda games that I think that took place on islands or whatever.
The two Zelda games? There's only one Zelda game that's being remade. It's Zelda not Link to the Past, whoops. Link's Awakening. Where did the second Zelda game come from? And it's not a remaster, it's a remake. He constantly confuses remakes and remasters, and it's like so easy to remember. A remaster is you take an existing game, making it like you're just cleaning it up and putting it on another disc. A remake is you're rebuilding the game. You're rebuilding it. It's one game. It's one game. Yeah, he does think it's that new Coyotes. That's what he thinks.
And I don't know if that's Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I don't remember because I never played them. Apparently, they're getting modern remasters, and yeah, I would definitely consider playing.
It's a remake. And it's not.
So the answer is
what 2 games is 1
on modern consoles digitally, and if there's a reason to play, I could time it and balance it with other content or whatever. The answer is yes, I would consider playing them. Okay. All right. Up next from No Chill Band.
How come he's able to balance all these annoying, boring ass chill streams with stuff, but he can't throw in other games. It's like he's afraid to do too many games, but it's such bullshit because how can people say that, oh my god, there's too many games? You're a variety streamer. That's like your perfect excuse to play more games. Oh, this is so painful. The next question. What memorable classes or times do I have from when I went to business school? Well, I never went to business school. I guess I should if I want. I guess I should, dude. But my most memorable class. It's either one of my art classes I took or philosophy. I say philosophy because I just remember the beginning of that class. My professor was giving us quizzes every day because he wanted to weed out people who didn't care about philosophy because it was an intro course. But this guy wanted to weed out the weak out of the philosophy department because he didn't want people to major in philosophy who weren't serious about it. So he made the intro class hard just to weed them out. Uh, but he did quizzes every day, and I was acing them. I was doing good. I was doing this and that. Then I got caught up with other classes, and then the philosophy quizzes started to go on a decline. It went from like A's to B's to C's to D's. It did go up a little bit during the semester, but it was going down to the point where the professor wrote on my quiz that he passed back to me, asking me if I was okay, and I felt kind of bad because it was my fault I got those grades because I didn't study enough. And he was like, "Oh, are you okay?" Thinking that like something like earth-shattering was happening. And I was like, "No, no, no, I'm fine. It's just I didn't have time to study, and I just was just doing other shit." So that was the only thing that was memorable about that class, was just feeling bad that I was doing bad in that class. But the art classes, the painting I remember because I like because they allowed us to go in the studio, whenever. We were supposed to do like 8 hours a week of painting, and I loved going in that studio whenever I wanted, just to paint, listen to music, do whatever. It was kind of nice to do that. So I did like that a lot. And then the drawing class, I think the drawing professor liked me a lot in that class because she really liked the stuff I was drawing. But that was it.
No Chill Ben. He asks, you've stated in the past that you attended business school for 4 years at one point in your life. Are there any memorable classes, times, or experiences from your time in business school? Anything you learned during your time that you still use to this day, such as accounting or finance? As I write this, I'm 5 weeks away from graduating college with a bachelor's degree in business administration. I'm interested in how your time at business school went, how it impacted your life. Well, I would say, first of all, I've talked about these over the years, but let me summarize in one place since you're asking the question, okay? One of the most impactful classes I ever had in my life was actually a religion. It was a religion course. It was about
A religion course.
all kinds of different religions, okay? And I actually went to what was Fairfield University, but it was actually considered a private Catholic university, okay? And so when I went to this university, there had actual
Hold up.
classes.
We're gonna fact check this, guys. Oh! It is a university! He did, I guess he did go to a university. Hold on, let's see. Let's type in Fairfield College. Let's see if that pulls up anything. Because there might be like two things that are... Nope, no, it's, well... No, this is... Hmm. Hmm. Hold up. Hmm. So, I mean, there is technically a college, a Fairfield College, but that's a preparatory school. So I don't think that's what he went to. He did go to there is a Fairfield University, so I'll buy it. I'll buy into that. It's fine. Whatever. But it is what it is.
About religion, which unheard of in
Whoa.
other universities. They wouldn't touch that, right? So this religious
Wait, what?
Catholic university, okay? And so when I went to this university, there had actual classes about religion, which unheard of in other universities. They wouldn't.
Unheard of. No. A lot of schools cover religion. A lot of them. It's not a taboo thing to have a class about religion. Okay.
Wouldn't touch that, right? So this religious class that I went to, they taught about all different religions, not only, Christianity, but regular, the core of it, which was based in Judaism, Buddhism, the Muslim religion, what was the other one? Basically, they touched upon like every major religion. And if anything, what I learned in that course was that every religion almost has exactly the same core moral beliefs about what's.
Whoa, it's almost like these cultures that all live on the same planet somewhat communicate with each other and have immigrants going between areas and things might get carried over. Like it's almost like that happened. It's kind of like how the Greek mythology kind of stems from Egyptian mythology, and then Roman mythology it comes from Greek mythology. Whoa! And you want to know why, like, how the Greek mythology came from Egyptian? Is because Egyptians and Greeks used to trade with each other. So there will be this communication with each other, and that's probably how they formed these mythologies and their own religions. Whoa! Cool, dude!
What's good and bad in life. There are some disagreements, but in general, they all kind of agree. They do.
Whoa,
And
they agree.
It's funny because they all have these figureheads that are almost exactly the same people in their religions as well. Who it's like, in Christianity, you've got Jesus, right?
They're
And
figureheads.
then
Jesus is a figurehead. Jesus is a figurehead of God. He's God's yes man. Jesus, you're gonna die for their sins. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right. Jesus, sorry. Do you think this? No.
oh my God,
Jesus.
You got Muhammad, right? You've got Buddha. They're all almost like similar
Muhammad.
figures in each individual religion.
Is that the M word?
Same. And they almost stand for similar things. There's definitely some very big core differences. But if anything, when I took this course and we studied all these various religions at once, we sat down and looked.
We sat down like this.
You know what?
We sat down as a class in a semicircle. We sat like this. Is like, you know what? Religion is the same.
They're all very similar, and why do we all hate each other for? Like, if you believe in Islam,
because of the differences. I like how he tells us that they have core differences. They have differences between each other. Why do we hate each other? It's the same. You just said it was different not too long ago. Okay.
As the true religion, or you believe in Christianity or the core of Judaism, or if you believe in Buddhism, or you believe in Hinduism, if you believe in any of these, why do you have to think that the other one is wrong? Why can't we all just be accepting of what we want to believe and what core belief system we want to have as part of our lives?
Because of the differences in the religion. There's a lot of stuff in these religious books that say a lot of shit. Like the Bible says a lot of shit that people don't do today, like that would be frowned upon. There's stuff in all these religions that don't really work in today's society. Maybe it's those differences that we don't like to talk about is the reason why we can't get along all the time. I think the better argument would mostly be, why can't we just look at religion as a way to run our morals and use it in some ways, but acknowledge that some of the stuff that's in these holy books are dated because societies change. So I mean, it's not like the people who wrote the Holy Book planned that we would be where we are today. But okay.
Why can't we be more open to that? And it's actually weird because here I am in a classroom studying various religions, and if this were, 1,000 years ago, during Inquisition times and
Yeah,
shit,
well, morals
people
don't come from religion, but religion does share some morals. Like it tells you, "Thou shalt not kill," treat your neighbor like as you would treat yourself, or whatever. Like it has all these other things that like don't commit adultery, like all this stuff are morals, but there's stuff in that book that's dated. So like not the whole entire book is like necessarily accurate to what we are today, but I mean, there's not stuff that we could just throw out. I mean, it's like the Constitution as well, or like the laws of the land. They could be amended, they could be fixed. There's stuff that was written, years ago that should be amended to today's society. Those are inherent to any society that needs to survive. Morals predate. Yeah, I know it is Raphael, but people go to religion to be better people and shit. So if they want to go to religion to do that, that's on them. That's fine. But maybe there's stuff in the book that's not aged very well. But whatever.
would be killed for even thinking of studying other religions. That's how crazy our history is as humans.
Things change. I mean, we didn't have a concept of the other side of the planet. I mean, we thought the Earth was flat at one point. People didn't understand biology. People didn't understand health. They didn't understand anything. They didn't have this knowledge. We got this knowledge, and that's why people don't die all the time for learning other religions. Ugh. Oh my
How
god.
crazy our mindsets have changed, how fucked up things have done over the years. If you even thought about talking about that other religion, we're going to cut your balls off and string you up in the middle of the town square. Like, Jesus Christ, because you think I'm a heretic just because I acknowledge that another fucking religion exists, But here I am at an actual Catholic university learning about other religions. That class opened my mind. It really did. Like, I'm not even lying. It opened my mind to the possibilities of being more accepting to other people and realizing that you had as your core.
Wait. So before that class, he wasn't accepting of other societies? It explains so much, and it's kind of mind blowing. He just said it. He just said it. Cool.
Core belief or core religious system for your whole life may not actually be the one true thing, and that you have to be more open-minded and more accepting of other people's. And I am, like, now I actually enjoy.
Oh, now he's more open and open-minded and stuff. Is that why he made a joke about other genders and race and shit, and then cried about, well, I can't complain about the race because I'm white, like an idiot? And then he doubles down on it by saying, well, the joke was towards journalists, man, not to the people, but to the journalists. They're the dubbies. But I thought you were accepting, and then, okay.
And really feel like I am enriching myself and my own mind by learning about other cultures and other religions.
So, did you learn about other genders and how people feel about that? I mean, I will say, like, the joke wasn't, like, super, super, super offensive, but the thing that's dumb about it is that he makes the joke. People say this isn't funny, and it's not a funny joke either. It's just a dumb joke that a boomer would make, and he gets so defensive about it. I kind of find the defensive part of it is more insulting than the joke itself, because he's not acknowledging why people are upset about it, and it's like, and it's just shitting on people who are not happy with the joke. It's, like, if you think it's funny, sure, but if other people don't think it's funny, then say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think I thought it was pretty funny. I apologize for the joke," or whatever. Whatever.
religions and other things. I think that it's a very good thing that you should, as you become a more mature adult, it's something that everyone should do. Immerse yourself in other cultures and other religions, and you can learn so much about just the history of mankind rather than just being in this all little closed foot. What I believe was right and everyone else was wrong, and I should only listen to this, and I only want to know about this. You know, I hate that kind of.
But you do that all the time on your streams. I hate when people do listen to other people. Hey, Phil, you know, other Twitch streamers have their cameras at 1080p and 720p. Maybe you should up your face cam. No, the way I do it is fine. The way I do it is the right way. Okay. But he hates that mentality, dude.
Okay. So that's the first thing in university that I really felt opened my mind. Now, if you're talking specifically about studying business, I would say a few things. I would say utilizing software for financial purposes. So, for example, I learned Microsoft Excel, and now I don't even use Excel. I use the freebie version of it. I couldn't even tell you what it's called. I think it's like Open Office or something.
Wait, what?
So
He used Excel, then why not just use Excel? But isn't Excel now free? Didn't Microsoft make those applications free now? Okay.
I use the same shit that I learned in high school and then university to this day to figure out things like my finances and my taxes and stuff, and I didn't learn it. I don't know how I would keep track of it. Good luck keeping track of that shit with pen and paper. Like, it's essential for you to have those kind of skills, and I learned all that stuff back then.
Oh, it's not for you.
Oh my god, marketing. I had a marketing class, and boy did it open my eyes up to marketing. Before I ever took that marketing class, I was very gullible. I bought into marketing and believed marketing.
Oh my god. He was college age. College age? Even high school age. I mean, whatever. And he was falling for marketing schemes. Like, if you're in elementary school, maybe even middle school, I can understand falling for marketing schemes, but, I mean, usually your teenage years and high school age is when you start questioning marketing.
Marketing at face value, and once I took that marketing class and I learned how all these spins and pitches and how they misrepresent shit to try to get you to think that it's what it's not, and have you run out. I mean, just in the 11 years I've been a content creator for the internet, think about games like Destiny. This game isn't a game, it's an experience. It'll change the way you see games forever. What the fuck?
Yeah, because everyone fell for the marketing scheme. They didn't buy it because they liked Bungie, and they might have liked the gameplay in the beta that they played. No, it's the marketing specifically.
Destiny? And then you played the game, you're like, what the fuck were they talking about? That was pure 101 marketing. But I didn't understand that stuff until I took a course about it, and then I was like, wow, now I totally see how this shit works, and that's how I...
He says this? But remember when he was considering getting the PlayStation 1 Classic, whatever the fuck? I remember.
I kind of almost became more skeptical and cynical when it came to what people say about movies and television and a product they're selling you.
He got more skeptical. Is that why he bought the Switch day one? Because it had Ultra Street Fighter 2? Oh my god, guys! They're making Street Fighter 2 for the Switch! Guys, I pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be a business expense. It's a good system. I love it. Amazing. And then he plays it. The game sucks! It's terrible! But that marketing class really taught him how to be skeptical about things you're being marketed to.
Or a video game, you have to be more skeptical because that marketing can catch you and hook you and make you go buy something that normally you wouldn't. Okay.
Like the Switch.
You know, there's more stuff too that I would say, but in general, my university days, I would say every year, I'm not even kidding, I went to a university for 4 years. Probably 2 courses a year had anything in them that I ever used. In general, I hate to say this, the professional education system in the United States is mostly a scam. And what I mean by that is, very frankly, you don't use most of it. They make you go to these extraneous classes.
The reason why colleges make you take classes that you're not going to use in the workplace is so that you have an open mind and you could be a problem solver. That's why they have you take all those classes. They don't have you take those classes for the lulz. It's like a YouTube notification. What's the YouTube notification for? Oh, Dark Dave. Dark Dave's Mirror. Shouts out to Dark Dave's Mirror.
Classes that have nothing to do with anything you're ever going to use to pay them more money. Oh, you need this many credits to graduate. Yeah, but out of all the credits, only 10% had to do with a job I'm ever going to do. Why the fuck did you make me do 90% of this stupid bullshit? Because you wanted more money. You wanted me to keep paying you to go to your fucking university and class after class after class, rack up this fucking student loan debt and shit that I paid you so that you could fucking rake me out over the coals for this tons of money, $40,000, $50,000, you know, insane exorbitant tuition fees. For what? Just train me for a job.
No, it's funny he blames the schools for these tuitions. I mean, sure, whatever, but you could also blame the way that the education system is funded through the government and all these other issues. Like they had a student debt forgiveness program that people liked, and now they're removing it or making it harder to use. So it's like there's no point. It is what it is. Like I don't know. I remember my brother was talking about it, but it is what it is.
I want to fucking do. And then the hilarious part about all this is when you actually get to the job force, 95% you learn on the fly on the job. 95% of what you're ever going to do for your job, you learn there. You don't learn it in university. You learn very little prerequisite in university, and that's why when you're going to university, you got to try to get your foot in the door with a internship or a partnership or whatever it is. You have to try to get that valuable on-the-job experience before you seek a job. Because for me, what happened was I was working almost full-time during the time that I went to college to pay the bills. I was paying my student loans and paying bills and responsibilities. At the same time I was going to school, I had no time to do things like an internship or whatever.
But a lot of these internships, there are some internships that are also paid internships. Also, there are internships that he could have got that might have had some benefits to it. Because the whole point of an internship to do during college is so that you could get a job. You could get a job right out of college because they'd be like, hey, you're out of school, right? Oh, you got your bachelor's? Cool, you interned for us. Do you want to get a job here? Yeah! That's kind of the idea that they have when they have you do these internships. You don't have to do them, but I mean, it makes your life easy by doing that.
I would have loved to do it, but I couldn't do it. I had to work to pay bills. So because of that, I didn't have the opportunities a lot of other guys. There was 2 or 3 other kids that I knew from my classes that got into fucking investment firms and shit just because they knew people who got them in the door of these internships, and they were able to do it because their families were rich. Their families paid their free ride for college. They didn't have to work their butts off to pay back their student loans.
I love that he's shitting on all these other kids that he hasn't even talked to. Just shitting on them. Okay.
And because of that, they didn't have to work during college. They did.
I mean, life isn't fair. Life is tough. Everyone struggles. Everyone fucking struggles. Everyone. Not one person has it easy unless, like, you're so stupid rich you don't have to worry about anything. But everyone fucking struggles.
And then they got these giant, expensive, you know, high-paying jobs right out of college. I couldn't do that. So, in reality, university is the first step towards getting towards that job that you want to do, but it's not the end-all, be-all. You have to do all this other shit, and you basically have to be lucky or rich. It's that simple, and it sucks because that's how it is in America right now. You got this whole kind of a university system based on rob the kid of the next 20 years of livelihood with student loans, so they can afford to go to a school where 95% of the stuff they learn has nothing to do with the job they do. Oh, by the way, just doing all that isn't even enough to get the job. You also have to do all this extraneous shit outside of it. Like, what the fuck is this? And then they wonder why so many jobs in the country have gone away, the valuable jobs, and now
the jobs went away not because of the schools, they went away because of cheap labor.
People have to hold down 2, 3, 4 part-time fucking jobs to make a living. This is why. Because they set up this system for us to fail here in the United States.
Sure. Okay.
Alright, let's see here. Vinny Vitty, resub for 5 months to keep it up, Phil. Thank you, Vinny Vitty. Twitch missionary tipped me $1 talking about Christianity. I understand where you're coming from. I know I was raised a Christian, but I'm not going to quote that simply because that's a religious quote, and we don't do that here. All right?
You don't do that here. I just talk about religion, but we
DJ
don't
Bruno
do that
actually
here.
cheered and
Why
said
do people
that
kill
in
each
the
other over
Bible,
religion?
It actually tells you to check into other religions. Well, I don't know about that. I certainly can't remember.
Wait, what?
DJ Bruno actually cheered and said that in the Bible,
DJ Bruno.
it actually tells you to check into other religions. Well, I don't know about that. I certainly can't remember
DJ
any quotes
Bruno,
about that.
ugh.
And what I can actually tell you is when I was growing up, I was discouraged from checking out other religions because I was told growing up in Catholic school, this is the one true religion. Those other people are misled. It'll be your job later on in life to go out and lead those people to the true way if you can. And I'm like, okay, I'm indoctrinated. Sounds good. And then later on, I'm like, what?
What?
I actually was listening to this.
Oh my god.
Let's continue on, guys.
Come on.
So what time we've done?
But
About half an hour? We're at half an hour in? Okay, cool. Another 30 minutes before we have to take a break. Very nice.
Oh my god.
Okay, next question is from J Bidg. I apologize, I probably didn't pronounce your name right. JBYDG. He asks, hey Phil, I'm watching through your Mega Man playthroughs from 2011 again. What was wondering, do you still receive income from older videos like these? Well, here's the deal. Anything that you see on DSP Gaming, alright, that
Wait.
2011 again.
Oh yeah, that was a question. Whoops. Do I still make revenue on my old school video? My old school videos? I don't make anything on old school videos, dude. It feels bad, man. My videos, they get not a lot of money, man. YouTube revenue is like low. It's like the fucking bottom fell out.
And what was wondering, do you still receive income from older videos like these?
By the way, he does. He went out of his way last year to tell us that the legacy videos, the old videos, is what kept him thriving. He literally told us that.
Well, here's the deal. Anything that you see on DSP Gaming, alright, that YouTube channel, was monetized from the start. Anything you see that was in DSP Gaming, I had a partnership on YouTube and I was able to monetize those videos from day one, okay? And through the years, even though I'm no longer with a partnership with any partnership company, I'm just directly having my own ads run on those videos. If you see an advertisement on a video on my channel, I may or may not be making money on it. And I know that sounds confusing. Allow me to explain what I mean. In general, yes, everything I upload to DSP Gaming or any YouTube channel, I own the legal rights to. I own the copyright. Automatically it generates a copyright by uploading to that channel, okay? So, yes, I should be able to have advertisement rights on all those videos, and if you watch an old video and there's an ad running on it, I should make money on it. The problem is, YouTube's systems are completely broken, and I have been uploading so many videos. I think at this point I have around 60,000 videos, if not more, just on DSP Gaming alone, since 2011 when I opened the channel, okay? Fair enough.
Okay.
Actually, I take it back, 2010 when I opened the channel. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
But the problem is, over the years, YouTube's erroneous systems like Content ID have matched a ridiculous amount of my videos to other people's content who don't actually own any legal rights to them. So, I'm playing a video game that has an in-game soundtrack. Oh, well, the owners of that in-game soundtrack uploaded their soundtrack to iTunes and now don't want anyone making money on that music on YouTube, so they load their music onto YouTube's Content ID system. My gameplay video gets claimed automatically, and now that music maker, who has nothing whatsoever to do with the actual video, the gameplay itself, the video game itself, only the song in there, gets 100% ad revenue rights to my video. Now, I just want you to think about this for a moment.
Let's think about it.
Does this sound legal at all?
Does
I mean,
it sound
even if you were to
legal?
go to a court of law, and if that music composer were to argue, well, that music that's used in that video is my property, the judge would probably say, okay, well, that's one component of the video, and you have legal right to maybe have a claim to a part of that video, not the whole fucking video. So just at face value, YouTube's Content ID claiming system doesn't work. It's actually completely fucking illegal. Just having one piece of a video claimed completely
It's
for
illegal,
ad revenue
dude.
is wrong.
YouTube's going to
And it
jail.
would never,
Susan,
ever
you're
go
going to
into court of
jail.
law at all if anyone actually sued to try to get this system taken
Susan's
down. It
going
would
to
get
jail,
shot down and
guys.
destroyed. Okay? But no one wants to poke YouTube and get in trouble, because the bottom line is people make a living on YouTube. If you're making
I like how he thinks that if someone sues YouTube, Susan is gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck? Hey, that channel, they sued us. Let's fuck them up. Let's fuck this channel up. We're gonna bury them. We're gonna hide." He thinks like the world works like a cartoon, like those cartoon thug movies. Like Susan is like the Godfather. And he's like, "You think you're gonna fucking rule YouTube? You gonna tell me what to do?" She takes a big cigar, snuff them out. That's what Susan does. She sits in her throne and she dictates to her peons what to do. She orchestrates YouTube, dude. It's a Susan crime syndicate.
money on YouTube, right? You have to
Right?
make a living doing this. You need to be able to continue doing so, or else where else is there to go? You can't go to another video sharing website and make a living. They don't exist. So you have to abide by YouTube's bullshit. So for me, I've been uploading 60, 70,000 videos to DSP Gaming since 2010. And yeah, I'd probably say, I'm not even kidding, probably about a third of those videos over the years have now been claimed or content ID matched or whatever by a third party. And even though you may see ads on them, I may not even get
Authentic
paid
Italian
anymore for those videos.
mafia.
Okay? So the truth of the matter is, if YouTube never instituted these broken systems, every video I've ever put out and I monetized, I'd still be making some money on right now. But I couldn't even tell you. You're watching Mega Man, what was the one you said? Mega Man 10 or whatever from 2011.
Oh, by the way, oh my god.
Every video I've ever put out and
Hold
I
on, we gotta
I'd
look
still
at
be
this.
making some money on right now. But I couldn't even tell you. You're watching Mega Man.
This is gonna be a good Twitter meme, guys. Twitter meme. Twitter meme in the making. That chin. That is something that fucking Cleo has. Cleo has a double chin. But she's at least cute though, so she gets away with it.
What was the one you said? Mega Man 10
He's
or
not
whatever
fat
from
though,
2011.
guys.
I couldn't tell you if those gameplay videos, if I'm making money on them right now or not. I could be. I very well could be. And that's a good thing, obviously. Or someone else could be. For completely unrelated reasons, they could have claimed it over the years, and I had no legal recourse to stop it. And, you know, that's that. But, in general, yeah, I do bring in some money from the old videos, okay? Is it a ton? Is it like an exorbitant amount? No. The bottom line is, even with an 11-year legacy, how many people on a daily basis really go back and watch my old videos? Maybe a few hundred, maybe 1,000 people a day want to go watch my old gameplay content. In general, people are watching the new stuff. You know, Phil's playing a new game, that's what brings in the views for today, not the old school stuff. And I'll always appreciate the fact that there's people who love my old stuff, and maybe people who discover me on a daily basis. Oh my god, this guy's been making videos since, 2009. I want to go back and see some of the old school cool stuff. And I'll always appreciate to watch my old gameplay content. In general, people are watching the new stuff. You know, Phil's playing a new game, that's what brings in the views for today, not the old school stuff.
But he literally told us that he thrives on older videos. Now he doesn't? Wow, he changed the lore on this one. Because, like, DSP Gaming got deleted from YouTube for a while. He's like, I make a lot of money on the old stuff. Yeah, I make money on the new stuff too, don't get you wrong, but the old stuff I make a lot of money. I thrived off it. Now it's gone. And then, when the AdSense shit happened, all the old videos don't have any money! Blah, blah, blah. But now,
And I'll always appreciate the fact that there's people who love my old stuff, and maybe people who discover me on a daily basis. Oh my god, this guy's been making videos since, 2009. I want to go back and see some of the old school shit he used to do. Look at all these freaking games he's played over the years. But, essentially, there's no guarantee that I'm making money on any of that old stuff. Even though there's very well maybe, there's no guarantee. Okay?
Okay. Hell yeah, Jupiter Lounge. Who's calling?
Mr. Jiminy P.
Oh, you get in the voicemail,
says,
buddy.
"Hey Phil, as a guy who played countless games in the past decade, what are the games that truly
Welcome
impacted
to
or
voicemail
changed your
world.
perception in gaming?" That's actually a really interesting.
Let's see the question. What games have truly impacted, changed my perception in gaming? I guess I could say Metal Gear. I know that's kind of like a meme thing to say, but I mean, I kind of feel that was the game that I really started to feel like games could have good stories. I feel like Snips.
Question, because as I've told you guys about my history as a gamer, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, Nintendo 64, too. I became so infatuated with fighting games pretty much for the most part.
We get the lore.
Almost every other thousands through like 2007 games in 2007, 2008. The reason was because I had a bad back injury. I was just Street Fighter. Okay? Then, when I came back to console games in 2007, 2008, the reason was because I had a bad back injury, a severely herniated disc in my lower back, and it became unviable to play fighting games at a competitive level anymore because I couldn't travel.
But didn't he do a lot of fighting game tournaments with his bad back, though? I could have sworn he talked about it and whatever.
I was always the guy who drove to the tournament and carpool. Everyone carpooled with me. I drove. So it ended up being, Phil can't drive anymore. Well, I guess there's no way to go to tournaments. And it all became basically unviable.
Wait, what? So since he couldn't drive, they're like, well, I guess we can't go to tournaments because they couldn't drive. Was he carpooling with like 14-year-olds? He's like 18. He's like, okay, guys, we're going to the tournament. And everyone was like 14 or 13. Like, okay, Phil, let's go. And they take all these kids. So that's why he couldn't go to tournaments anymore. They're too young to drive. It all adds up. He was hanging out with kids. Wow, DSP. I mean, I don't know.
I couldn't do it anymore at a competitive level. And in addition to that, I had spent so much time and money over the years on competitive Street Fighter. I'm talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. Flying all over the place, driving all over the place.
Now, this is also coming from a guy that shot on a football player that got injured and couldn't do football anymore, and then decided to play Madden. And he got really big in the Madden scene. And he's like, this kid, he got into an injury, and then he started playing Madden, and EA wanted to promote him. It's so off base, man. No one cares about this person. Oh, I have a bad back. I can't do Street Fighter, dude. I gotta play other video games. It seems like that guy who got that injury, who played Madden, had more of a life than he did, but okay.
Place, hotel fees, food, venue fees. For what? Really, when I looked at this in 2007, I was like, I've played fighting games for 8 years competitively, and yeah, I've done a lot. I've, won multiple EVO Easts, got top 4 at EVO one year. But what do I really have to show for it? This was before.
What do I have to show for it? I got 4th place at EVO. What do I have to show for it? Okay.
The era when fighting games were big business and you could make a living doing it, and there were giant prizes and sponsorships to be had. None of that existed back then. So for me, I was like, now I can't even go to the tournaments anymore because of my back. So I'm just going to kind of throw in the towel, a soft retirement, if you will. And I'm going to try to re-immerse myself back into console gaming. And when I actually started playing console games again, I was blown away by how different they were. They were console games.
Wait, there's games that were not fighters? What? Why did that blow him away? Other genres always existed. Okay.
Back in like the late 90s, we're still at that point, even though I had played groundbreaking games like Resident Evil 1 and stuff like that, they were still kind of basic and primitive. And
basic and primitive, these fucking... He's a gamer, guys. Resident Evil 1 on the PS1 is primitive and basic in 2008. Gee, is it because it's a PS1 game? Him and Kat have such special opinions on things. Persona 4 Golden is archaic. It's very old and outdated.
Remember some of the first games I played: Mass Effect 1, Grand Theft Auto 4, Tales of Vesperia, and Blue Dragon. That's right. Those were like the 4 big games that when I played them. Oh, and BioShock. I should also say that. BioShock 1. Okay? So 5 big games that I played. And when I played these games, I was like, these is so different. This is like nothing that I even imagined. The games were incredibly immersive, right? They were interactive worlds at a larger scale than I had ever imagined. The graphical level blew me away at how good these games would look. Keep in mind, I'd only been playing classic Street Fighter games for like 8 years. I hadn't seen the advancement in graphical capabilities.
I call bullshit on that. He's really having us believe he never like saw other games. He never saw them. Really? Okay.
That have been progressively getting better and better over all this time frame.
I kind of think that's bullshit, but whatever.
Okay. So, that being said, when I immersed myself back into console games, I was completely blown away. And I in particular, I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 4 and being like, man, if this is what game is now gaming, I missed out on so much. Like, I actually felt like Jesus. Like, I had put myself into this bubble, this very tunnel vision like bubble where all I saw was fighting games, right? And because of that, I had missed out on so much. And I started re-immersing myself in console games, and it blew me. So I would say those are probably the 5 games that really, opened my eyes to this is what games could actually do and be. That blew me away. Now, of course, you could argue, well, Phil, then you started doing it for a living, doing YouTube videos, and I could always, oh my God, games like Dead Space, right?
Dead Space, oh boy.
And further games and franchises like Mass Effect 2 and the BioShock Bioshock Infinite, obviously the Uncharted series, games like Heavy Rain that had crazy, interactive experiences, stuff like that. There's been so many games. I could just sit here endlessly telling you games that I thought were really fun experiences that kind of like, wow, this is great and something different and changing the way that we game, and this is really cool. So, I would say that's some of the big ones, at least, in the last 10, 15 years. Okay? All right.
Okay.
How much time we got? We got about 20 minutes left.
Oh my God, look at the time. You like how he does that? He's been doing that a lot lately?
The next question is from... Hold on a second. Oh, my laptop froze.
Trying to lean a band, dude.
Okay, there we go. The next question is from Guitar Player 1939, and he asked the following: do you really think that Death Stranding will be released in November, or do you think that it will be delayed until next year? I hope it gets...
It'll probably be released this year. He had a lot of time to work on it. I mean, he didn't give us a release date for a long time. I kind of feel like Kojima wouldn't give a release date if he wasn't sure the game was ready. I don't know. That's what I feel.
It's released in November. Hoping versus reality are two completely separate things. I do hope it gets released in November. I hope that for the first time, because Hideo Kojima was able to have full control over what he did with this game, unlike when he was with Konami and there was always deadlines and rushing and cutting corners.
Deadlines and rushing and cutting corners. Like, he's such a cuck about this. Like, I like Kojima and I like his games as well, but, I mean, even I can, like, I believe that what happened with MGS5 was both of Kojima and Konami's part. I think they both kind of fucked up the situation. I don't think it was one or the other. I don't think it was just Kojima. I don't think it was just Konami. I think it was both of them. I think Kojima just blew his load in the development and then wanted more money. And Konami was like, "Look, we want this game done. You're not getting any more money." And then I think he also wanted to leave the company as well. I think it was a lot of shit that just happened to be a perfect storm of nonsense. So I wouldn't say that it was just Kojima or just Konami. I think it was both of them. But even like the time that they worked together, he didn't seem like he hated his time there. It just seemed that the relationship got sour by the end. Because if he hated the company so much, we would have probably seen some issues years ago. Like he was with Konami for a long fucking time. It wasn't like, oh, I put up the nonsense just to make a game, man. Like they had him open another Kojima Productions branch in L.A., which didn't go anywhere. But they allowed him to do that. They allowed him to make his own entity within Konami. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like they had a good relationship before MGS5, and then MGS5 was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Wait, what's happening? Oh no, Susan, what are you doing to my stream? No, what? Everything says it's fine. Is it buffering for you guys? Oh, the stream is being downvoted? Hold on, I'm gonna look at the downvotes. Guys, again, look at the down. Oh my god, the phone. Susan's calling me too, dude. You're getting the voicemail, buddy. Susan's calling me too, dude. Oh man. Oh, one dislike. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, guys. They could No, it's not buffering. Someone was talking about downvote. Yeah, it's fine if they downvote. Susan's okay. Susan can enjoy it.
And bullshit. I'm
Bullshit.
hoping that now he's had time to really complete his game to fruition. It is the culmination of exactly what he wanted this game to be, and that he's ready on November 8th to unleash his masterpiece, his magnum opus to the world. I hope.
No, I like how Death Stranding says magnum opus. They said MGS5 was his magnum opus, but the guy that's like, I didn't fall for marketing schemes, is adding so much marketing tactics to Death Stranding. Like, Death Stranding is not a magnum opus. I kind of don't think it is. I just think it's a game that he wanted to make. Like, I don't feel like it's a magnum opus, in my opinion. But DSP thinks it is, so there you go.
Ends up being, because this guy deserves it.
Like he's fucking fanboying harder than Kojima fans, which is sad, I guess.
This guy worked his ass off for a company that mistreated him and his game team for many years. He needs to be able to have that creative control and put out a game there that he always wanted to make. I hope that's what this game is, and I hope this game blows us all away, being quite frank with everyone. I really do, because he deserves it as a game designer. We deserve it as fans. Like, we all need.
Oh my god. Now it... God damn it, iTunes. Why you do this to me? Go away. Go away. I like how this just shows that, like, he's trying so hard to wipe away the meme that he hates Kojima. Thank you, Kojima, forgets all... Oh shit, people are mad at me about that? Well, it's time to be a mega fanboy about it. I love Kojima! His games are gonna be amazing and blowing away. I love him. He's amazing.
Need this. So if this game comes out on November 8th and it feels unfinished, that's going to be incredibly disappointing. The flip side of this is, if it gets delayed again, I hope it's because, oh man, well, it's not because his creative vision was stifled, but because...
I don't think they'd delay a game if they stifled his vision. They probably would be more on track with the release date. Usually, if they delay the game, it's to fix stuff or whatever, but... Okay.
Maybe there was a technical aspect that went wrong at the end. They were trying to make a piece of the game engine work properly, and it wasn't working right.
No, I like how he's like, so like, yeah, man, if it gets delayed, it's okay, man. I mean, as long as they fix it. Days Gone got so many delays. I don't know, this game might be a piece of shit. It got delayed so many times. Death Stranding gets delayed. Well, it's okay, man. It's maybe it's gonna make the game better. Okay.
Technical bugs at the end, and they just want to take a little bit more time to flesh out said bugs to make the game more polished, versus, man, there's a whole thing that I want to add now at the end and change the whole game. You know what I mean? So, I guess we're going to find out come November, but I hope it doesn't get delayed again. As a gamer who's waited for this game to come out many years, I am hoping this game really does come out November 8th. I'm excited for it. At the same time, if it gets delayed for good reasons, I'm okay with that. So I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next question, to forewarn everyone, it's incredibly lengthy.
Oh, God.
But I think it's a great question, and I actually think this is a question that may even just finish up this part, and we'll take a break after.
Oh, boy. I think I know what this question is. The question. Thoughts on how adjusting factors in games, controls, audio, etc. can change the default experience, and a discussion on what the right way to play a game is. From a blind gamer named Super Blind Man. Put an exclamation mark, like, away. I like how... Oh my god, the fucking dick sucking. I love... So all these questions... No name. No name. Not even the patrons. Like, hold on. Let's go to part 2. Does part 2 have names? Do they name them there? No, he didn't even name the patrons, which he is supposed to do for his Patreon goal, but okay. What about part 3? Does part 3... What does part 3 say? Oh, no timestamps. So no one gets their name, but a Super Blind Man gets the name drop. So my thoughts on adjusting factors in games and all that shit, who fucking cares? It's a game. They give you these custom things for a reason. That's all I gotta say about that.
After I answer this question, because it's a really good question, and I think it's gonna basically spur a lot of discussion and a lot of reaction.
Oh,
okay? So
in my opinion, the right way to play a game is how you want to play the fucking game. Who fucking cares? Now, with the debate of Sekiro and all these other like grueling difficult games, I think technically there's no wrong way to play those. Like even DSP cheesing the game, it's right. But I think I don't even think. Well, actually, I take that back. I don't think the way he plays them is right. To me, the right way to play is that you use the tools that the game gives you, and you play it like you would regardless. The way that DSP plays Sekiro and Dark Souls and Bloodborne aren't ways that the developer intended, but just ways he found to cheese the game so he could get through it because he's a streamer, dude.
Get ready, guys. So this one,
like, there's a room of enemies. Like in Halo 5, when you played it, he runs past enemies. He skipped rooms and is like, see, the game developers didn't intend this to happen. They should have put it in the game. It's obviously an oversight. And it's obvious that the game is meant for you to kill the enemies that are in the room. But he didn't do that, so that's not the right way to play it. The right way to play is at least to approach the challenge that the game throws at you.
Is from Super Blind Man. You may recognize the name. He's been a long-time viewer and follower of mine. Recently, he's become a streamer himself who's become successful. And he
DSP right now
is
doing
a
this.
blind gamer. He's
a blind gamer, dude.
He finds ways to play video games and stream them live and make them entertaining for a viewing audience, which is very much a reason to give props and respect the guy, right?
Oh, so we should respect the guy because he's blind? I mean, I'm not saying to be an asshole to the guy. I mean, that's fine to not be an asshole to people, but I mean, just because someone has a disability doesn't mean that we have to kiss the ground they step on. I mean, they're fucking people too. And isn't that what like they don't want to be treated? Don't these people want to be treated like normal people? Like blind people want to be treated like everyone else and all this other stuff. So isn't kissing so much ass to the Super Blind Man like kind of like being shitty to him? I mean, it's fine to be like, oh yeah, he's a blind gamer or whatever, but like he kind of he goes to cuck mode for him because he's blind, which is kind of dumb, and it's kind of stunning because these people want to be treated like normal people. I mean,
play video games and stream them live and make a streamer himself. So here we go. Get ready, guys. So this one is from Super Blind Man. You may recognize.
I love how he says it. Super Blind Man. Da da da. He might as well just do that as well. He might as well have a trumpet play.
The name. He's been a long-time viewer and follower of mine. Recently, he's become a streamer himself, who's become successful, and he actually is a blind.
And he's not. I mean, I wouldn't even consider him successful. He gets as many viewers as I do. Guys, I'm successful. I'm a successful streamer. I made it, guys. I'm successful now. Respect someone with a disability, unlike those retarded, mentally challenged, unstable detractors. Yeah, and then he says we have to respect him because of his disability, but doesn't respect people who identify their gender differently. He doesn't respect game journalists. He doesn't respect anyone, but he wants us to respect the blind guy. Okay.
Blind gamer. He cannot see, but he finds ways to play video games and stream them live and make them entertaining for a viewing audience, which is very much a reason to give props and respect the guy, right?
Because he plays video games and he's blind. Now let's
go ahead and let us read his question because it's very lengthy, so bear with me, okay?
Should we respect people who are paralyzed who play video games?
Greetings. You'll have to bear with me as this one requires a lot of context. My apologies. Nevertheless, here we go. You have expressed in the past, he's talking to me, that you don't like to change any controller-related settings in games because you prefer to play the game on the way that the developers had in.
This is dumb. He's gonna read all this just to say, but it's the way that it's intended because it's the base setting. But it's a fucking control setup. Why did they make other setups than if they
intended? Red Dead Redemption 2 is one example of this, though if memory serves, it's not the only one. I'll explain. As accessibility becomes more mainstream, more options in games have started to appear. Not just subtitle options or colorblind options, but all sorts of options, up to and including the ability to drastically change the way the controls work in some games. As this happens, as the amount of options available for gamers increases, and as the way in which you can play games becomes more fluid, one thing becomes clear to me. Game developers intend for you.
Oh my god, why, Super Blind Man? Did you have to word your question in this fucking way? You're writing a question, not a fucking novel. Like, this is the kind of shit that gets people annoyed about Big Boy Abides and all these other fucking people in his community. Like, it's fine to ask him questions and shit like that, but, like, it's so needlessly extra. Like, do we really need, like, well, Phil, the smell of the wind was this fragrant today when I found this interesting thing in a video game of sorts that developers have put meaninglessly hours into it and built a fantastic world and with options galore that allowed the player to experience the world how they see fit, and has accessibility options that are so different for everyone, and the world is so unique and fluid. The times have changed, and the controls have changed, and how does, like, we fucking get it. Just ask the question.
Time playing their game. Whether that means that you adjust a few things to make it a better experience for you personally doesn't matter, so long as you can get enjoyment out of it. The options are there because the developers intend for them to be there. My outside-the-box attempts at games alone should be enough to demonstrate that there really is no right or wrong way to play. I ask you to consider this, considering how gaming has changed in that.
And the thing that's just the icing on top of this is that he throws all these words to a guy who can comprehend more than a sentence. Like, he's asking, like, the developers give you all these options for a game. Maybe the experience the developers intend is how you choose to use the control settings and all that kind of shit. And instead of just asking to the point, he goes this roundabout way that you listen to him read the question and you already know before he even answers that he's gonna forget the question. It's so wordy and lengthy. He probably forgot what the first letter was. The first word was. He probably forgot who wrote this.
Didn't exist in the past, and speak your thoughts on developer intent. Or if you want it in the form of a question, what do you think of my line of thinking on the matter? Have I at least provided perspective? Thank you and continue to be awesome. Great question, and it's gonna
time to get cooked out for this.
Have a lot of discussion around it, okay? Before I get to the answer, holy crap, thank you very much to Frieza Soldier.
Frieza Cooked Super Blind Man.
$100 live here on the stream. He said, hope you had a great day off yesterday. Hope this helps with your financial situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. The show is saved. I'm going to do more of these.
Frieza Soldier, it absolutely will.
Frieza Soldier.
Absolutely.
The newest whale for DSP. Well, actually, he's been a whale for a while, I think. I think I've seen him before.
Sadly, this now has scrolled everything off the screen here. So I think what we're going to have to do, for now, guys, we're going to get rid of current subs. Simply because the monthly goal we already hit. Alright? The event we're doing tomorrow. So I'm just going to get rid of that for now. To make room for the live contributions. Fair enough. So let's go ahead and say yes. $117 on this stream. Thank you very much, Frieza Soldier. Of course, thank you to everyone who's contributed so far. But
thank you, Frieza Soldier. Oh, by the way, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Frieza Soldier. Oh, and yeah, thank you guys too, I guess.
Let's go ahead and answer the question. So first
He's
of
so
all,
happy now.
What Super Blind Man is getting at is being a gamer who can't see. He's relying on developers to add in
of course,
ways to play
of
their
course.
game.
All Super Blind Man wants to know is is just the controller settings. And he's like, he's talking about accessibility options. Okay.
And personally, I can't attest to any of them because I, don't know what kinds of things that he relies on when he actually plays games for them to adjust so that he can actually play. I know, for example, he uses screen reader technology sometimes to see options on the screen. If he's in a menu, he needs a screen reader to be telling him what each menu option says so he can understand it, okay?
Okay.
And I'm sure if you have a game that's not compatible with that, it's completely inaccessible for someone like him, and that's a big downer, right?
Big downer.
And so I could totally understand if he goes into a game and says, all right, first hour of this game, I basically just got to mess around with it with all the things and tools that I use to play a game and figure out, can I make it more accessible? Can I make the controls easier for me? Can I make it so that it makes sense and it's accessible to me? Totally 100% on board with that. I'm for making games more accessible to wider audiences, and I don't think that anyone with a handicap should be unable to enjoy the things that people who don't have said handicaps enjoy, right? What's the difference between someone who can't see or can't hear versus someone who can't, besides that they have that one thing? They should still be able to enjoy a game at face value, all right?
No one said they shouldn't, DSP. That's not the question.
You have to give massive props to game developers who go out of their way to add in these accessibility options.
Yeah, we should give props to companies to add these features that make more money. Like, of course they're gonna add those features. They want more money, dumbass.
And a lot of times I can imagine that takes a lot of time, effort, and extra investment money to make that happen. And the more we see
it costs as much as making a game, guys.
Game developers doing it, that's to be applauded and it's to be respected. Instead of these game developers that just rush out cookie cutter fucking games to make a quick buck, we should be.
I read this question on the forums, but all Super Blind Man wants to ask him is that the game developers make it so that you could change the controls on the fly. Like, you change how the control setup is. Like, for example, in Resident Evil 4, I was able to change the control setup from one to the other. And that wouldn't that be considered the way that the developers intended, is that you could change the game to be to your liking? Because every time DSP plays the game, he doesn't want to make the game more comfortable for him, because he wants to experience the game the way the developers intended, which is bullshit, because the developers give you all these options. So shouldn't all the other options be as valid? Like, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. He's just asking, like, why don't you play it on a different difficulty, or why don't you play it on a different control setup that makes it more comfortable for you? And he doesn't answer the question, gives us this nonsense. Yeah, people with disabilities should be able to play games. That wasn't even what he was asking. It's like he got caught up in that Super Blind Man was blind and he plays games a certain way and he focused on that.
Guys who take their time to actually make their games not only a robust value for just the common gamer, but an accessible game to other people who don't have the same advantages that we might have. All right? Now, that being said, all right, what Super Blind Man is saying here is he hears me say things like, oh, well, I'm going to play this game at the default control setting because that was the intended thing the game developers has had. And he kind of disagrees and says, no, you should just be able to adjust the game to play it and have fun with it no matter what. So if that means you have to make the game easier to control, change the buttons around, change the difficulty settings, change this, change that, that's perfectly okay. All right.
Okay.
I agree and disagree, and I'm going to explain why. But first of all, I want to say shout out to T-Dre.
Oh my god, Super Blind Man's getting cucked in this. Like, no other question had him, like, interrupted with shoutouts. Super Blind Man's question gets interrupted by all these shoutouts.
Okay. I agree and I disagree, and here's why. I agree, if you're a common gamer and you're a person who's paying that full price or whatever the price is of the game, you should have the ability to adjust that game to your liking. You're absolutely right, Super Blind Man. That's why those settings exist. They wouldn't exist in the game if the game developer didn't intend that someone was going to adjust them to make the game more enjoyable for them. So if you, for example, are playing a game from Software and you feel that game is insanely difficult and there's a way to adjust the controls to make it more accessible or a way to adjust the difficulty level to make it more accessible, you should be able to do that. You bought the game, right? And if you want to adjust the difficulty level of a game or control level on the fly, you're in the middle of a game, and man, this is too difficult. Can I somehow adjust it on the fly to make it easier so I can get past this tough part of the game, and then maybe later on you want to adjust it back to being hard again? I think that's a good idea. I'll be honest, I do. In general, video games are not competitive. In general, and I say that as a very generalized statement.
It's not competitive, but it's also challenging. It's supposed to challenge you.
Most people who are playing video games, they're doing it for relaxation or leisure purposes.
Oh, the meme.
They're sitting at home, they're picking up their controllers at night after they've finished their 9-to-5 jobs or whatever it is that they have to do during the day, go to school, and gaming is their entertainment release. Man, I get to play some video games tonight. And not everyone gets entertainment value out of the same things. Not everyone needs to play a gruelingly difficult game where it's like balls to the wall.
Like, of course, when you want to relax, you don't want to play a game that's challenging. You just want to mess around. Then why not just whatever? It is what it is. Like I could see like people might not want to play like a From Software game or a gruelingly challenging game after a long day of work and shit because it's added stress. But at the same time, they could get fun out of that too and balancing it. Because unlike DSP, people can play a game for like an hour and then switch off to another game. It's not like they play a game and they're locked in that game forever. So, this is a good face too. I could keep that too. It's a good one.
Shove a cactus up your ass kind of difficulty. Oh, I overcame that insane boss that took me 4 hours to beat. Wow, my e-penis just grew 25 sizes and now I feel great. This was a great night.
I like how it's like, you conquer a challenge and your e-penis shoots up and you're fucking on steroids. You're fucking happy. The whole point of people like From Software games and like challenging games is that it's fun to overcome a challenge. Like you fight something that bodies you over and over and over. Like let's say you die 100 times, and then you stick through it. Like you want to play the game and you stick through that, and then you beat the boss. You're like, oh, I learned so much and all this stuff. I got past it. Now of course there's also times where it's like you get bodied enough times and you're like I don't want to play this anymore. And you move on because not everyone's a bitch when they drop a game. Like I kind of dropped Sekiro for a while. I went back to it. And I did a little bit better with Lady Butterfly. I got to the second phase. I just need to learn that phase better. And it's like, yeah, I could see myself dropping the game, but it's not going to be like, oh my god, this game sucks! Fuck this! Fuck you! Delete! Nothing like that, but, a lot of people aren't little man babies. But, okay.
Not everyone wants that, you know?
You
People
know?
get different entertainment for different reasons in games. Some people just like playing a repetitive game that's grinding. They find that relaxing. Some people like games with challenge. Some people like games with great graphics. Some people like games with great stories and don't care about the level of challenge of the gameplay or if the gameplay even is existent in the game. They just want to have a fun, interactive ride, right? There's so many different genres and different kinds of games out there now. You can find what's your forte, and it's okay for you to experience that game however you want to get fun out of it. I 100% agree with Super Blind Man on this point. No one should come to you and talk down to you and say that, well, when you played that game, you didn't actually experience the real game and it wasn't valid because you had modifiers in that game. That's silly. That really is silly. That's kind of an elitist.
Well, he didn't really play Devil May Cry 5 right either. He played he did one run of it on Devil Hunter. I mean, sure, that's like the only difficulty you could get in the game when you first start, but the point of Devil May Cry 5 is, on Devil May Cry in general, is just to always go back and play on harder difficulties. That's kind of the point. Because they rearrange enemy positions, they change the damage as well, so it adds more of a factor to it with the ranking system on top of that. There's a lot in that game that you could just enjoy out of. Like, to me, I think the bare minimum experience of that game is just playing on all the difficulty levels. The ranking system is cool. Like, I've never been into the ranking system in Devil May Cry. I just like the hack and slash part of it. I just kind of like messing around with that and seeing what I get. But I mean, playing it one time is kind of like, why buy it then if you're gonna play it once and never go back?
Mentality, a get good mentality. And in particular, I have to say, at least for me, I see that with the From Software franchises. Games like Sekiro, where a lot of people couldn't beat it because they couldn't parry, which was the one game mechanic you absolutely needed to exceed at the game. You couldn't parry properly. And if you never mastered the parry mechanic, it was an unbeatable game. And people were like, man, we would really like other ways to beat it. Like when you play other From Software games, you could have different...
But it's a different fucking game. Sekiro has a whole different mechanic and point. Like, that's kind of what I loved about it. I love the parry system. Like, it forces you to get good with that. Like, the other Dark Souls, you can kind of cheese that game because it allows for it. It allows opportunities for it. But like Sekiro, it's like you can't really cheese it. You kind of have to learn the system. That game is the definition of learning, and that's what. And I do kind of like that. I mean, I'm expecting for me to drop that game to begin with, like just to be done with it. But I'm enjoying trying to get through that and trying to learn the parry and the dodge and all these other mechanics because that's fun.
Builds and different styles. You could be a heavy armor knight that's all defensive. You could be a glass cannon where you die real quick, but you do insane damage with a weapon. And why isn't that kind of variability available in Sekiro? And basically, From Software said, tough titties. If you don't like the game, oh well, we're not going to dumb it down for you.
Tough titties.
We really feel that if you learn our core gameplay experience of parrying, that the game ends up being a worthwhile experience that's worth...
They didn't even say anything about that. I think they didn't even address it. They just released the game and then they moved on.
Mastering.
It's to the point, like you can't really expect From Software to have a difficulty setting because they never did one. Like, kind of expecting that's
I understand that. I get that mentality. That's what I mean. Like, I can see both sides of this situation, all right? From my perspective, and this is just my perspective, you could completely disagree. If you're playing a game in your own home, you're not sharing this publicly. You're not like me. You're not someone who's broadcasting gameplay to the internet. You're not.
Why does that matter? Why does broadcasting matter? Dude, like that is the only thing that bothers me when I stream a game is when people tell me I'm playing the game wrong. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm playing the game the way I want to play it. Like, who fucking cares?
Is by any means saying that you're competitive at what you're doing. You're just at home having fun. You paid the same money as everyone else to play that game. You should have no problems being able to have modifiers and adjustments.
And this is also coming from a guy that if you go to his stream and say, hey Phil, you're not doing the game very fun, it sucks, it's very boring. That's how I play the game. I play the game the way that I played it, the Joe Average Gamer. But I thought I thought that you should play the game you want when you're not streaming. the way that he implied in this, but okay.
Different control scheme, easier difficulty, whatever it may be, as a way to overcome and complete that game. Period.
So I guess, like, if you can't show it, you can be proud because no one can question how you play it, which makes no fucking sense. Because then, like, because he says, like, oh, well, people with a get good mentality is fucked up. You should play the game you want to play, man. You shouldn't let people talk down to you. So play it offline. Don't do it. Don't stream it. Do it at home. Do it in secret. Shh, and beat the game however you want, man. What? It sounds like you want these people to not stream. It's very weird. This is a very weird thing to say, DSP. I don't know the point.
I think there's no problem with that whatsoever. I don't care.
I don't see your problem, but don't stream it, buddy. Don't go to twitch.tv. Don't stream. You failing at a game. Don't do that. Fuck that. Go in private. Play the game in private. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But if you stream it, let me tell you, now you're in a world of hurt. Okay.
Just because I played Sekiro and I eventually, by the end of the game, got pretty good at parrying, that I beat it that way. If someone else found a way, oh, there was modifiers in the game that you didn't have to use the parry and you did something different, I don't care.
There's no
That's
modifiers.
to me, I found value in playing the game myself, and I don't need to now have this kind of mentality where you have to do it that way for it to be valid. And no one should feel that pressure, okay? Now, the difference between what I just described and what I do is drastic. I do portray myself as someone who's going to broadcast my gameplay publicly to the internet to put out an entertaining experience to my viewership.
Hold on, I want that.
Drastic.
I want that face.
I do portray myself
It's
as
a
someone
fantastic
who's going to
T-pose.
broadcast my gameplay publicly to the internet.
God
What
damn
I
it.
just described and what I do is drastic. I do portray myself as someone who's going to broadcast my gameplay publicly to the
Close enough. I'll take it. The condescending T-pose. The brag T-pose.
internet to put out an entertaining experience to my viewership. And everyone who watches me watches games for different reasons. Some people just watch to interact with me. Some people watch to see a new release being played by someone of a relatively low skill level in most places. Some people, in most cases, what I meant to say. Some people actually are watching to see if I can overcome a daunting thing. Some people just tune in to see me fail. All right, and that's I understand that.
That's fine.
Whatever reason.
Remember when you said that if you tune in to watch them fail or watching for the wrong reasons?
You may show up, I'm appreciative of that. But when I put myself on the internet as
these guys don't tip.
I am now broadcasting myself to you and portraying here's my product.
Oh wait, hold on, that's another condescending T-pose.
Appreciative of that. But when I put myself on the internet as a public figure, I am now broadcasting myself to you.
Oh my god. What the fuck? He's answering a blind man's question. He's being so pretentious about it and condescending too. That is special.
And portraying here's my product. Okay,
here's my product.
There's gonna be some expectations of said product. And if every game I play, I say, well, I play.
Well, I expect a 720p camera, a better mascot, Skullgirl second encore. I expect that. You don't give it to me, DSP. What the fuck? I'm expecting next stream. When I go to his stream, I better see him play Skullgirl second encore. I'm expecting that because that's a product, and I want that product. And I want to play online, and I want to invite me into a lobby, and I want to just wreck him with Eliza. That's all I want. That's all I want. I have it on PS4, PS3, and on Steam. I have it everywhere. Come on. You Theos, you Cleos, you Tevins are so demanding.
Every game on easy difficulty with modifiers that make it piss easy to win, and I don't care ever about challenge, that's going to isolate a certain group of viewers who are actually tuning in to watch me challenge myself at that game and have some challenge or difficulty to overcome. Playing something that's piss easy every possible moment.
Is that what? So then, why do you like over level in Dark Souls? Why do you get the spear to poke people? Why do you get excited to cheese a game? Like, he literally gets so excited when he finds a thing he could cheese and exploit in a game. And he wants to tell us that he wants to challenge himself? Okay. Sure.
Isn't exactly the most entertaining thing unless people are there for other reasons, okay? And some people are, like I said. Some people are just here to interact with me. Some people are here to have a good chill time. Some people just want to see the story of the game and couldn't give two shits how hard it is to get through it.
He says that though, but like, he doesn't give people the option though. He just kind of does the shit and then says, "You like this." See, people like this, and it's the same people. The people that are there in the first stream are there in the second stream. Like really? People are just here for anything. No, they're just here to just be there. Like, that's why, like, when you see him play a chill game, you could see the fucking sleeper emote most of the time. Well, okay.
Right? It's a different experience for everybody, alright? For me, the reason over the years that I've said things like, man, I should not change this control scheme because I want to, have that default game experience that the game developers wanted me to experience.
Oh, now it's a default experience that the developers want, but the developers also expect you to play the game however you want, though.
Is because I actually give my review style opinions on games. Now, I don't do formal game reviews anymore. That's very true. But during the gameplay of a game, I will give very honest and open commentary and criticism of said game. When I finish
very honest. He gets bodied in a game. This game sucks. It's terrible. Oh my god, this is awful. Just watch the Sekiro playthrough. Then at the end, the game's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. What? Okay.
In the credits when they roll, I give you my overall view of the game and what I thought about it.
What's honest, though?
If every game I play, I'm now tweaking and modifying it to make it easier for me, when I do those reactions and things, I couldn't tell you an honest opinion.
But the reason why you would alter the controls in the first place is if the controls suck ass. And you could say in the review, well, I played the game, the default controls suck ass, but I modified them in the options menu to make the game play better. Don't use the default setting because that sucks. Why is that such a bad thing? Like, that's like the whole point. That's what a lot of people do. They play a game and then they go back and tweak it. Like, that's why people, like, in first-person shooters, they go in and they modify the sensitivity because it's kind of a thing you do. And it's like, yeah, like, it changes the default experience, but, like, it doesn't change the enjoyment of the game, and the merits of the game can still shine. This is really dumb, and it's like, the fact that he thinks this way is just really dumb. It's really, really dumb.
What I've done is I've already took that default gaming experience that those game developers intended would be the default experience, When you buy a game and it's on default settings, by default, that's what the word default means. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's just him being lazy. That's really all this is. It's just him making excuses why he can't do things.
Without modifying anything, that's what they want you to experience. Now, yes, you could tweak it for your own personal enjoyment, and I'm all for that. I am. But if I'm going to be honest about a game, I have to leave it at what they had intended me to experience, or else I'm modifying that default game experience for my own enjoyment, and that's not right. Because let's face it, not to say that this exists because it doesn't, but what if when Dark Souls 1 first released, you could play a default experience and it's very challenging and cruelly crippling and, very tough game to get through. But then I put it on easy mode. And on easy mode, you don't lose your souls when you die. And on easy mode, your weapons don't degrade. And on easy mode, this and this and this. You see what I mean? So I just turbo through the game. Wow, this is the best game ever. And I review the game 10 out of 10, perfect game, and I don't talk about any of those experiences.
But why would you choose easy mode on a game you never played before, and then you never try like that? That's kind of the argument I have with like difficulty settings. That if the game is good, you're gonna naturally want to play it again. Like I get that like Sekiro and like Dark Souls and all that. I get the point is like to overcome the challenge. But I feel like I like a game that gives you a base experience, like a very basic experience. Like, you can steamroll the game and beat it. But if the game is good, you're gonna naturally want to play it again. Like, I like Persona 5. I didn't stop on normal. I went back on hard. And I'm gonna go back on very hard. And then I'm gonna do merciless at some point. So, like, if I like a game enough, I do all the way through. Like, I did most of the Devil May Cry 4 difficulties. In the vanilla game, I did all of them. In this one, for some reason, I can't get past the this one room. It's very frustrating, but that's a whole other discussion. The game gives you 3 difficulty options, and easy is the first option in the list. Of 3, does that mean easy is default? No, normal is.
That the default gamer would have. If anything, I think when people watch me play Dark Souls 1, they were like, holy shit, if anything, this shows that the gamer with no skill can't beat these games and is going to get frustrated. And if you actually tough it through and learn those games at a high level and master them, that's something to be applauded, because the average person isn't going to do it, right? And if I had just flown through the game like Superman, you know, and if anything,
I agree. And so does Metal Gear, because they also in Metal Gear they increase the vision soldiers have, the patrols. They also they do a lot in Metal Gear. I like the difficulty settings in Metal Gear as well. They do a really good job with it. In 4 they did a good job, but it was very fucking annoying and I hated it. Like I did, was it Big Boss Hard? I think it was Big Boss Hard. And that one, like in Act 3, when you do when you have to like follow the guy, they change his path, and the path is so annoying. I fucking hated it. And that just was enough for me to never play the game on a harder difficulty ever again. It sucked. I hated it. It was awful.
This, when I played the game years later and I live streamed it for the first time, and I had people hold my hand the whole time, summon every boss, right? And they beat everything for me. That's essentially what it was. And essentially, I could tell you guys, yeah, when I beat Dark Souls that first time, I didn't beat the game. I summoned to
why was this in quotes? Whatever.
And that allowed it to be beaten. It wasn't a legitimate playthrough of the game where I felt like I had beaten every challenge legitimate. Of course not. And that's what I mean. Like, was that playthrough not fun to watch? No.
No, this is bullshit, because when you go to the redemption run playthroughs, you literally, like, the beginning, it's like, oh, the redemption run, redemption, no hate holding. And then, like, within a few days of the redemption run, it's a stream. Of course I'm gonna read. And he starts, like, bending the rules of redemption run, and it's just nonsense at the end, by the end of the day. Renu is trying to rely on AI and PCs. Oh, dude. Like, that's the one thing. A game gives him, like if a game gives you a AI partner that also helps you out, he's just gonna let him do all the work. He has done that for years. I have seen numerous playthroughs where they're like, oh, right, you're with a partner. Alright, let's go. He just, like, stands in the back and watches the person kill as many enemies as they can, and then he kills the stragglers. He's even lazy in games. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
But can you,
like, I'm surprised he doesn't do the AI fighter in Mortal Kombat. I'm surprised he doesn't even do that.
you say that it was a legitimate playthrough, that my opinion could be fairly represented because I faced every challenge myself? No, I couldn't. I couldn't accurately review that video game from a perspective of, say, a common gamer, because I had modifiers. I was summoning. Okay? So...
But you're not reviewing, you're a gamer.
To go back to the point, when I play a game, any new game that I boot up, I purposely don't mess with the controls. The only thing I'll do is actually up the brightness. Reason being, my capture setup, for whatever reason...
But that's not the default DSP. What if the developers intended for you to not see anything? Oh my god, he is ruining the game. This is not the experience the developer intended. Oh my god.
It's been like this. Is actually darker
on
my capture than it is on my television. Like, a lot of times I can see stuff on my TV, but you guys are telling me, man, the game's too dark. So by default, I have to up the brightness or gamma settings so that you guys can actually viably see what's going on in the games. That's like the only variable factor that I would usually...
Now I'm surprised he doesn't realize this as well, but... Oh wait, no, that's not... Never mind.
do in a game like that. Everything else I'll leave on default or normal, so that when I'm playing this game,
I'm getting
the default or intended experience for the mainstream common person that the game developers have said this is the experience you should be getting. Now, it's great that there's all these variables in there that you can adjust, especially if you have a handicap and you can't enjoy that default gameplay experience that the game maker made for you. That's not right. So it's great that they put in all these things that you can adjust to make it accessible, and I'm 100% for that. But if I made every game easy, how could I ever accurately tell you at the end of the game, oh man, this game was fair in this part and unfair in this part. This game was challenging in this part and not challenging in this part. All I would be telling you is, this is my opinion, asterisk, with all these variables. So I want to try to appeal to the common viewer, the common person who's just going to buy the game, sit down, and enjoy it at face value without a ton of variables. Admittedly, Super Blind Man, what I'm telling you right now is maybe my style of gameplay and game streaming and game playthroughs is not for someone who needs to play with a bunch of variables. If anything, right? By watching me play, you can find out, wow, if I didn't change a bunch of things, this is what the game would be like. Maybe now I know I need to adjust a bunch of stuff because of what Phil told me from that default experience. Seems like it makes it completely inaccessible to me. Maybe I need to adjust
But
it.
how do you know what level of the customization it can get into if he doesn't show it, though? He doesn't go in the options that deep. He only goes to the display to turn on subtitles and the gamma shit, I guess, sometimes. But he doesn't go to control layout. He doesn't go to the control options. He doesn't see that at all. So how are we supposed to know the depth of the control setting if he never checks it out? Okay.
A few things to make it more viable. You see what I mean?
See what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. You're basically saying, like, when I say, oh, I'm not going to touch anything because that's the default experience, it almost makes it feel like I'm writing off anyone else who plays the game with variables. I don't. In fact, if anything, I am the complete opposite mentality. I don't understand why this get good community even exists. Like, why do you give a shit how other people enjoy games? Why? Why do you care? If you're just a person who's sitting at home playing the game for yourself, you're not a competitor, right? Who gives a fuck how anyone else plays or enjoys a game?
Maybe you don't give them attention. Like I play a game and Wes. Shout out to Wes. He's been telling me to get good. I listen to that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna run that by Cleo, see what she says. And you know what Cleo says? She just doesn't give a fuck. So sometimes you have to take advice from a bun. But the it is annoying to constantly just be told to get good when you're struggling at a part of a game. It's like, oh my god, I know that it's a basic fucking thing to get better, but it is frustrating. And I don't know. To me, it's annoying, but I just ignore them. Because if I sit there, I'm like, oh my god, guys, I am getting good, and you need to leave me alone. It's just gonna get more people to do it, and it's kind of a troll thing at this point. It is what it is. I mean, it could get annoying. It's as annoying as backseat gaming, and you could also just like add in your stream rules as well. Oh, if I'm playing a game, just saying get good, it's gonna get a timeout, dude. But I don't know.
You know? Now, there are exceptions to the rule. For example, if I'm playing Street Fighter Online and I'm playing someone who has programmed every button to be a special move on their controller, they don't need to have any execution. They're playing this button and getting invincible shoryukens that blow through every time I press a button. That's unfair in a competitive environment. But that's a competitive environment. If you go to a tournament, they're never going to allow that. You see what I mean? When you're just playing these games at home, why do you care how someone else plays it? What variables?
And why do you care how people play fighting games at home? Is that a tournament setting? Oh, because it's competitive, and competitive means tournament, I guess. Which is dumb, because he tells us all the time when he does a fighting game, I'm not gonna take this seriously. I'm gonna play this for fun. I'm not gonna be super competitive about this fighting game. I'm gonna play for fun, man. And then when he gets bodied, that's not how you play the game! Oh my god! These tryhards ruined the game! Okay.
They've got in there. Why is that even a factor in your fucking enjoyment or consideration? It shouldn't be. That whole get good mentality, it blows my mind that people care about it. Because for me, I've never been like that. I've never been one of those guys, wow, oh, did you know, when I beat Sekiro.
Oh, this is great.
I had gotten pretty good at the parrying system. Not amazing, not master level, but pretty good. I beat the final boss more quickly than probably 90% of the people who played the game. okay?
Very humble, by the way, but I was like, see, I didn't brag about. Hold on, let's.
Did I immediately go up and for the next month,
Let's have him
every
say it
day, oh,
first.
by the way, I'm the guy who beat the final boss in 15 minutes, and here's a highlight montage of how I whooped his ass, and I hope it gets 100 million views on YouTube, and, every once in a while I'll bring it up because it's hilarious that people will not acknowledge. Here's a highlight montage, 80% of the people who played the game, okay? Did I immediately go up and for the next month,
He goes out of his way to bring up other people's length at the boss fight, saying, "Oh, well, see, I beat it faster than the other people," and then says
every
this.
day, oh, by the way, I'm the guy who beat the final boss in 15 minutes, and
Was I the guy that did that? You did. You do it all the time.
here's a highlight montage of how I whooped his ass, and I hope it gets 100 million views on YouTube, and, every once in a while I'll bring it up because it's hilarious that people will not acknowledge.
And now saying that we're not acknowledging it. He thinks it's funny that no one's acknowledging it. I know the game. I know the game he's playing. I know your game. So what DSP wants, it's gonna blow your minds, guys. He wants everyone to brag for him. So that way he could say, see, I'm not bragging. The other people are, not me. See, I'm a good boy. I'm modest. I'm a great winner. Everyone else is bragging, not me. And that's what he's doing. I mean, it's kind of obvious. He wants everyone to do things he wants them to do, and they don't do it. He gets a little bit mad about it. That's why he thinks it's funny that no one. That's why he thinks it's funny that no one's acknowledging him for being a boss in 15 minutes, because now he has to be the one to brag about it. And oh my god. And then he goes out of his way. Then he brings up montages as well. And this is also funny because he says, "But if you're gonna make a this is how you don't play of Sekiro, then you need to add the part where I beat the boss in 15 minutes. Why? This is like, if you gotta do it, this is how you don't play montage, you gotta include that, and you can. But I thought you don't want that to be in a montage, though. He just said, did you see me putting in a montage on YouTube? You should put on the montage on YouTube." Whoa. Man, DSP is totally not lazy and expecting his fans to do the work for him. No.
How well I did in a game for once, because it's actually a rarity that I would.
Oh, it's a rarity that I would. See how cool I am, guys? I'm a good gamer. And then when you said that you suck at games, you either get, "I never said I was good. I am bad. I fumble around, okay?" Or you'll get, "I'm good at games. I play a lot of them. I'm good with them." You get so many memes from this guy. It's ridiculous.
But this was a rare occurrence where I did things well. Did I?
Wait a second.
Every day, oh, by the way, I'm the guy who beat the final boss in 15 minutes, and here's a highlight montage of how I whooped
There's
his
a face
ass,
I don't think I got.
I hope it gets 100 million views on YouTube, and, every once in a while I'll bring it up because it's hilarious that people will not acknowledge how well I. Here's a highlight montage of how I
I want that face.
I hope it gets 100 million views on YouTube, and, every once in a while I'll bring it up because it's hilarious that people will not acknowledge.
Oh, god damn it. I'm gonna slow it down. It's a good face, god damn it.
Views on YouTube, and, every once in a while I'll bring it up because it's hilarious that people will not acknowledge.
There it is. There's that smug look.
How well I did in a game for once, because it's actually a rarity that I would. But this was a rare occurrence where I did things well. Did I immediately make it my end-all be-all of my existence? The next day I was on to another game.
You made it the end all be all for detractors, though. If you don't include the final boss of Sekiro, then you're not being honest. He wants everyone else to brag about that fucking moment more than him so he could say that he didn't brag.
You know what I mean?
You know what
Like,
I
I
mean?
didn't care, but
I
that's how
didn't
I am. But
care.
some people, they're just so infatuated. I beat the hard game. If you want to beat the hard game, you got to be challenged just like me. How dare you have variables in there to make it easier? That is so fucking stupid. Seriously, dude. Seriously.
Well, the thing is that, like, to a degree that they're right, though, because if you want to experience the challenge, then you should play the challenge that the game's intended for. But if you just want to, like, it's two different camps. Like, you either want to play a game to experience the story and have some fun with it, and then there's people that want the story, but they also want the cooling gameplay. And that's kind of where Sekiro falls. Like, that's why I empathize with people who wanted an easy mode for that game. You could say whatever. I mean, you don't have to agree with them, but I think it's a little unfair to just shit on people who just want to play the game on easy. Like, it's fine to be like, yeah, I think I like the game better this way. You have to, like, learn the game and get through it, and that's fine. But I empathize that because I like the story, I like the style, I like the setting of Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Neo. But the challenge, it's like I don't mind it, but it's like I kind of just want to experience the story, then I want to experience the challenge. Like it goes both ways for me. Like I wouldn't want everyone to be limited to what I want in a game, but I want to have an option for me. I want a baby mode. God damn it, give me a baby mode. But that's my issue. Like that's why I like games with difficulty sliders. I think that's more fair because you have the challenge if you want it. You have the easy mode for people who don't want it. Etc. You have these options, and I like that a little bit more.
But anyway, I digress. Thank you for the question, Super Blind Man. Hopefully my answer helped to clear stuff up. Big Benj resubscribed for 8 months. Thank you, Big Benj. And your boy Bob did a 100-bit cheer and said, "Based." Alright, guys. That is it for part 1 of Ask the King. What we're going to do now is take about 5 to 10 minute break. Then I'll be back with part 2, which is going to be finishing up the forum questions and actually moving on to Twitter questions. Looks like part 3 will probably be finishing up Twitter questions and maybe a few chat questions, okay?
Okay.
So thanks. Let's
Sound
take
good?
a quick break. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll just be part 2, a separate video. If you're watching this on stream, I'm going to take a short break here and then I'll be back. Okay, guys? Thank you very much so far. Good
I
show.
don't know how
We'll be
that
back with
answered
more
the
in just a
question.
moment.
I mean, I guess it kind of did because he said like he wants the default experience in the game. Like the default experience is how he wants to explain like the controls that are out of the box. He wants to experience the game that way, which is fine, but it didn't really answer the question of like the developer intend for you to play the game however like is comfortable. It kind of didn't make any sense. Because then it's like, well, they made the game easier, then it's not accurate to how easy the game is. Blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't know. Wait, what? What is this? You're great on video games.
I'm a brain scientist and better and faster. Percent of children do play video games. But let's be frank. When the kids are in bed, who is in... And in fact, if we look at the projected demographics of video game play, the video game players of tomorrow are older adults.
Oh shit, look.
So video games... the demographics of video game play.
Oh, that's a nice picture in the background there. I'm sure that's like for like well intentioned and all that, but it looks so goofy. It just looks like a guy just like sitting in there. Like, I'm probably gonna feel bad for laughing at that because it's probably like something very serious, but it is so. It is so weird looking. The fucking photo. Just,
The video game players of tomorrow are older adults.
And then yeah. Fucking grandpa. They're like out of their fucking mind. The lean manual chair. Oh no, that wouldn't included my mouse. I gotta get rid of that. Oh my god, still included the mouse. Whatever, fuck it. I guess she... That one didn't.
So video games is pervasive
But that's probably
throughout
for,
our society.
for fun though.
It is clearly here to stay. Of release of the game Call of Duty. If this was a case about doing linear algebra, of coming back home and finding your kids playing these kind of games. The name of the game is to get after your enemies, zombie, bad guys, before they get to you, right?
Oh no.
And
Some
I'm
girl
sure most of you have thought,
brain
come
scientist.
on, can't you do something more intelligent than shooting at zombies?
Wait, she might actually be defending video games. Let's hear her out, guys.
I'd like you to put this kind of knee-jerk reaction in the
She's gonna flip the script. She's gonna flip the script.
context of what you would have thought if you had found your girl playing Sudoku or your boy reading Shakespeare, right? Most parents would find that great. Well, I'm not going to tell you that playing video games days in and days out is actually good for your health. It's not, and binging is never good. But I'm going to argue that in reasonable doses, actually the very game I showed you at the beginning, those action-packed shooter games, have quite
I think maybe
powerful
Romanian
effects and positive effects on many different aspects
I
of
think
our
Romanian.
There's not one week that goes without some major headlines in the media about whether video games are good
Families
or bad
seek
for
help.
you, right?
Video games say kids
You're
crazy. My kids are
bombarded with
crazy.
that.
They play
I'd
the
like
video
to
games.
put this kind of Friday night bar discussion aside
Blah, blah,
and get
blah.
you to actually step into the lab. What we do in the lab is actually
Good at French,
measure
too.
directly
Yeah, because
in a quantitative
her name is like
fashion what is
Bevalier.
the impact
So
of video
that sounds
games
French.
on the brain.
Oui,
And
oui,
so
oui.
I'm going to take a few examples from our work. One first saying that I'm sure we actually know how to test that state. Spend a lot of time in.
Okay, this is kind of getting boring. It sounded fun. Sounded fun for a while, but it didn't pan out, buddy. Didn't pan out. Oh boy.
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Oh shit, Hank with a $20 tip. He came back. He's wheeling out again.
This game has been a pretty creepy and interesting game for sure. The plot's been great, so. Yeah.
The plot's been great. Yeah. Oh. I thought the slug was the new mascot. I thought he got a new mascot. You need to see that video on your own. There's a frog in there and everything. You need to experience that the right way, the definitive way. Wait, is this load?
Yeah, here we go. The stupid teacup ride. Oh my god. The face scan fail. That was a nightmare. How bad that was.
So I'm gonna give you a little teaser about the Dark Side Theo's retrospective event. What I have in store for it. Because I was watching this marathon, and one thing came clear. Like let's just go to his gaming channel, DSP Gaming, Disp Gaming, and we're just gonna not watch the full part, but we're just gonna see what's going on, right?
Hello everyone,
Hello,
Darkside Phil
everyone.
here.
Darkside Philip here. All right, where is it? Where's the good content that everyone loves?
So now guys, let's look for something different. That's enough of that.
Enough of
Let's go to
that.
some other suggestions. How about this? Okay, Spider-Man from PlayStation 1.
Now this is supposed to be a event that we were gonna get behind the scenes information and new stuff, man. We're gonna get like fucking new information about this playthrough, right?
Health, good. I'm gonna have to fight these assholes anyway, so I might as well head down there, right?
Weird game.
There's no one here now. Oh, you know why? It was those 2 enemies that fell, I bet. Oh, here's one.
And then he's off the face cam a little bit. Gotta hide. Gotta think.
Yes,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So I don't know what we're watching. I'm not angry yet.
What are we watching? I'm not angry yet. I want to see myself get angry. I thought people enjoy your content for you, Phil, not to see you rage.
Trap webbing doesn't seem to work on these guys.
What?
Spider sense tingling. The sockets broke the cables.
Oh my god, there's so many enemies.
Okay, what does that mean?
I like how we didn't say anything about the invisible wall there for a sec. Oh no. Oh my god, this is... What the fuck happened? Are we back? I think we're back. Muted. No. Shouldn't be muted. Because the mic says I'm talking. Am I talking? Oh my god. Susan did not like that TED Talks, I bet. I wonder if that... Oh, that might fuck me over. Oh, shit. Well... You just sat still, thought it was muted off. I was confused. I was very confused. Oh my god, my hair is weird today. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so he watched the clip. Whatever.
I don't know why that was funny.
Why was that funny?
That was a dud. I don't think that was very funny.
A dud. Now this has been a common fucking theme in these fucking marathons. Every video, well, that's a dud. This is a dud. Dud. Wow, this isn't funny. Wow, this isn't fun. He's just sitting there wanting to be entertained by his own videos. I thought you were supposed to give us commentary on your videos, DSP. Why are we looking to be entertained here? Huh? Susan's attacking your business. Guys, quickly tip me to offset the Susan. But anyways, I mean, that was the end of the stream anyway. So, it is what it is. It is a thing I've just noticed with his retrospectives. Is just that it's been nonsense. They're all nonsense. But it is what it is. Well, everyone, thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching. It's been a fun ride. A fun ride for all to have. What's this? Hold on. I should turn off the bell icon.
No. And it doesn't hurt where she is?
No.
No,
I don't want notifications.
Let's all go to bed now, eh?
What's weird is that
And tomorrow,
she
when
found
you
out that
wake
her mother's
up,
alive.
you'll feel a lot better. You'll see.
So she's still lying to him.
Okay. Well. Wait, what? Oh my god.
The year is 1984.
I need my fix of PragerU.
One company, Microsoft, dominates the computer world. It's their way or the highway. Conform or die. This snapshot in time was perfectly captured in one of the most famous commercials in TV history. Set in a gray dystopian future, row after row of men stare blankly at a giant screen from which Big Brother, the all-powerful leader from George Orwell's classic novel 1984, addresses them. Suddenly, riot police burst into the hall, chasing a beautiful blonde woman in a white shirt and red shorts. Before they can grab her, she hurls a sledgehammer into the screen, shattering Big Brother and his grip on the masses.
Oh no.
The narrator informs us that Apple's breakthrough product, the Macintosh computer, will be the device that sets us all free. Looking back, Apple largely lived up to its promise. A new wave of companies, each in its own way, followed the example set by Apple's legendary CEO, Steve Jobs. Google gave us instant access to vast amounts of
this is not white, this is black now? Wrong.
information. Facebook gave us a new way to connect with friends, family, and the world. Twitter brought this world to us in real time. And YouTube allowed anyone with a smartphone to become a virtual
there's some lore with YouTube, with PragerU. PragerU, like DSP, they fucking hate YouTube. They hate Google. They do. I was scrolling through the Twitters when I first discovered PragerU. I was just curious to see what Twitter would have. And I came across one of the people in PragerU was upset that they were accusing Google of censoring their videos. Like, they were like not putting them in search results or whatever. Like, YouTube's trying to get us out of YouTube. YouTube is silencing us. They're fucking hiding us from everyone. And it was kind of ridiculous, like, because everyone was having issues with YouTube. It wasn't just political channels, but it is what it is.
Broadcast network onto themselves. It was glorious and empowering. But that was yesterday.
I wonder if they're going to bring that up.
Today, it's 1984 all over again.
Oh, no.
Big Brother's back with an important twist.
The government.
Our former liberators now want to be our masters. Apple, Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, the giants of social media, are demanding conformity to their values. It's their way or the highway. Conform or die. This image...
Guys, they have rules now say, don't be an ass, and you act like an asshole, you get banned. That's fucking bullshit. They should allow assholes to be assholes. Come on.
Is perfect.
But it's such a different world now, because everything's online, everyone uses the internet, everyone uses social media. Like of course the scope and the scale changes over time. Like, and sure, you could say, like, there's some cases where these companies abuse their power, but, like, I feel like this is going to bring up a debate, but, I don't mean it to be a debate, but, you know, there was a rule that Twitter passed, that they had, I think either last year or earlier this year. They said, like, okay, if there's someone that's transgendered and they have their pronouns they want to be called by on their profile, and you, call them by another pronoun or whatever, that you'd be suspended. Now, the idea of that is that if someone just constantly goes out of their way, even after being told, hey, can you please call me by my preferred pronouns, please? And they're like, no, fuck you, and they just continue doing that. I can understand the suspension for stuff like that, for that behavior of someone going out of their way to knowingly be insulting with it. It's one thing to be like, you know, oh, I say it by accident, and then the guy says, hey, can you please call me by these pronouns? And you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll just do that, whatever. And that's fine. That's the idea, I feel like, for me at least. You know, if someone, like, if I say something and then someone says, hey, you fucked up, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, and then I try to move on from that, because I don't feel like we need to have an argument about that. But I feel it's more in line with people who go out of their way to do it for malicious reasons, not nothing more, nothing less than that. A woman, it's not. No, but the platform's responsibility is that they don't want to host abuse or bullying on their platform, so they have a right to suspend an account that is doing that. Like, just because you don't feel like that, you don't want to call a person by their preferred pronouns, like, you know, and you go out of their way to do that. I mean, that person's not going to take too lightly to that, and it's not going to be nice to them. Like, you don't have to agree with their life decision, you don't have to be them, but, I mean, getting a bully to use your blacklist. Yeah, but people get around that, though. Because people get around blacklisting by opening other accounts. having sock accounts. Like, look at DSP. A lot of people make sock accounts for him. Like, but I mean, I just think that the suspension is enough, and I think, like, blocking is fine too. Like, what it comes out to me is that it should always be up to the person who owns that Twitter account. If they feel like, okay, I'll just block them, that's fine. That's on them. It's fine to block. But then if that person's like, this guy's going around and he's getting around the blocking and he's still coming at me, then I would say suspend the guy. Report the person then. Because if he's going around the blocking, if he's getting around all these things, I mean, I feel like that is like, you go to work and if you start acting like an asshole to people, you're not going to be there for very long. You can't go to work and start being a toxic influence to other employees. You're not going to be there for too long.
Perfectly captured, not by an ad, but by this recent real-life scene. Row after row of men and women stare up at Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, as he makes a presentation, ironically before a civil rights group. We only have one message for those who seek to push hate, division, and violence. You have no place on our platforms, Cook tells his audience. You have no home here. Hate? Division?
Hate?
According to whom? The answer is obvious. According to Apple, Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Though.
They are becoming the big brother Orwell foresaw.
But it's their platform, though. They have every right to run their platform the way they see fit.
Conform or die. Cook's ideas are exactly the same as his fellow chief executives at Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Disagree with Big Brother on, say, politics or morality, and Big Brother will shut you up by shutting you down.
Get him out of here.
And what is it that Big Brother doesn't like? Well, Tim Cook said it. Anything that doesn't.
I think. Well, I'm not saying like do automated behavior, and I'm also not saying that Twitter should get involved actively. I just think it should be a report process. Like, we've had a report process for years. Like, even before this video was even conceived, we had features that would be reports. They've had reporting on YouTube before you could even make money on the platform. Like, you could... That system exists. I'm just saying that system is fine. Like, I think going far beyond than reporting and getting penalized for the report if they investigated the claim, that's fine. I'm not saying that Twitter should either take someone by their word either, but
Form to his left-wing worldview. The examples are numerous and growing. Meghan Murphy, a Canadian feminist, is permanently banned from Twitter for refusing to refer to the transgendered by their preferred pronoun, and for writing, "Women aren't men." Google, Facebook, and Twitter
but that is transphobic, though. She's not not respecting, but she's not giving them what they want. If they feel like that they're that gender, they feel like that they're that gender. It's I kind of think it's kind of needless to be like, no, I'm not gonna call them that because I don't feel like it, because it's not you. I mean,
various times refused to carry political ads from Tennessee Republican candidate Marsha Blackburn promoting her conservative views. She's hardly the only one this has happened to. And as many of you know, YouTube continues to restrict over 100 of PragerU's videos, finding them...
that's kind of fair, but at the same time, it's just... I mean, as I said, I'm not saying that they need to. It's not that they don't have to respect it or they don't have to agree with it because it's not their life. It's not their life. But if they want to be called a certain pronoun, that's their right to be wished to be called that. And I just don't get, like, if someone just says, "Oh, this is my preferred pronouns," why go out of your way to start shit? Because if you don't call them by the pronoun, then you're gonna be called an asshole. Then you're gonna get people yelling at you. Like, do you want to be yelled at by random people on Twitter and get nonstop notifications of people shitting on you? I don't know. I don't know. That's on you, I guess. But I mean, to me, it's like if someone wants to be called a certain way, that's on them. I'll do whatever because, like, I would much rather have everyone be happy and live their life than, okay, well, gonna be an asshole. I don't know. That's just me, though, I
Inappropriate
guess.
for children. These include titles like Why Did America Fight the Korean War?
Because maybe kids shouldn't. Maybe war is not a concept for kids. I don't know.
Broad-based studies.
They have the right. Then you need to refer to me as Jesus. Same concept, TVH. Change your name officially, like go through the process of changing your name as Jesus, then I'll call you Jesus. If it's not on your birth certificate, if you haven't done it officially, went through all the paperwork for it, you don't get called. I'm not gonna call you that. You gotta go through the methods. These other people went through the methods to have their gender they want, and they've done all of that. So that's enough for me. So change your name first.
By the American Institute for Behavioral Research and Technology and by Northwestern University have confirmed what these examples clearly suggest: bias against conservatives at Google and other big tech sites. And this is the bias we can plainly see. What we don't see, what Big Brother hides from us, what is referred to as shadow banning, may be even more pernicious. If you're on the left, maybe you're okay with this. But if you're not on the left, or even if you are and you revere...
I mean, the fear of censorship and the fear of all that, I get the fear of that. I get the criticism of that, but I just think a lot of this is just fear mongering, and it's also jumping the gun, as well. Okay, Phil. I'm done. I'm done arguing about this. Let's do until we remember gender is rooted in facts. Okay. But what if you change your genitals, Israel? If they change your genitals to be the correct genitals, there you go. What then? What then? What then? But you stroke my ego anymore. No. I mean, I understand the fear that this is, but I feel like with PragerU with this video, it's a lot of construing what's going on. Like they're taking all these instances and just kind of blowing them out of proportion, and it's just kind of. I don't think it's very genuine. I don't think it's a very genuine video. This is just a propaganda channel, honestly. And I know people who watch PragerU. It's fine if you like their videos, but videos like this I don't really like. It's kind of misleading, and it's kind of alarming to something that is more nuanced than what they perceive. Like this is like he's delivering it in a very black and white manner, and it's not, because there's a lot of nuance that goes into it. There's like it's a lot of perspective that PragerU's not taking into account. They're not looking at this in the eyes of the people who have to go through a lot of shit for most part of their life. They're not looking at that perspective of it, or the perspective of the company, because how would Twitter look if it allows all this hate speech to go on? Now before we get to what's hate speech and what isn't, I mean, just imagine if someone says, "Well, Twitter supports this kind of speech," and then people are gonna be like, "What the fuck, man?" I mean, there's a lot of exaggerations in these videos that I don't really love at all. PragerU is not a good channel. It's not a good channel. Leave it at that. But we have to balance out the equation. We have to balance it out. We gotta see what Lily has. What did Lily upload? She has to do something.
Oh.
I mean, she can't, like, not upload videos. What the fuck? Where's... The last glass of water was fucking boring. Why is this all we get? This is fucking bullshit. Fuck you, Lily. You did nothing. Nothing. This is nothing. God damn it. Nothing there. I don't know who else to look at. What about Digi, bro? What did Digi do? Did he do anything? Did he do anything silly or stupid? Oh boy, anime. You know what do I want to check out? Let's see what Lisa Green has done.
When I first became sexually active.
Oh god. Furry. In defense of online feminism, social media was a mistake. Let's do furries.
Oh, hi. It's been a little while since I've been in my throne. Honestly, feeling a little bit powerful right now. Today is a great occasion because I am finally tackling a topic that has been really widely requested for a really long time on my channel.
Furry, just furry community.
Furries.
Oh, furries.
Furries.
I think most of them are trolling.
You never actually came out and said, I'm a furry.
Hello.
One of the most well-known sexual subcultures, as well as one of the most misunderstood, including by me. When I first learned about furries, maybe 10 years ago, I thought it was about having sex with animals or like, you know, something not okay. I have since been educated. I have also seen some things. Before I really dive in, a reminder to keep an open mind, to be respectful in the comments. Everyone's gonna be horrible. So let's start at the top. What is
Let's see how horrible the comments
in pop
are.
culture, furries are known as those people
I was
who
afraid
take
before it was
mascot
gay,
outfits
weird flex, but
to go to
okay.
conventions and meet up with each other and maybe have sex in their fursuits.
Hey,
Reality is a little broader.
Adam sees himself as majestic.
A furry broadly, generally,
not afraid, but I
refers
think
to anybody
every man
who
and
has
woman
some
is
sort of
attracted to Lola
fascination
Bunny.
with anthropomorphic animals. Anthropomorphic and from a Goofy movie definitely made me question my sense of a persona. You know, like a.
Okay, I can't take this. I can't. This is just, guys. Furries, they exist. They do things. Can you believe it? Can you believe furries exist? I know what we could do. Man, I'm struggling for an ending. So let's go to a old standby. Young Theo. Let's see what Young Theo did back in the day. Oh man, which one to watch? For a little bit, I guess. I'm not gonna do the skits because those are too easy. Let's see. Did Theo struggle in school? He has no patience. Let's see. I need something, god damn it. Let's see. Nah. I want something old. This one. Let's do this one.
Spoilers! Okay, well, today's spoiler is
oh my god,
the
quality!
So, if you have not played Metal Gear Solid 4 yet, or haven't beaten it, and you want to know how it ends,
I'm on
any
board
story,
with this.
then just go away.
Go away!
Just get out of YouTube right now.
Oh my god.
Now that that's happened, I want to talk about the ending of MGS4, how people think that Snake should have actually killed himself instead of lived. Well, here's what I think of the story, and I played a lot of Metal Gear games, and I actually do like the story a lot. So, anyways, this is what I thought of the ending of him not shooting himself. I think it was perfect.
Perfect.
Because if you think about it, would you shoot yourself? Would you kill yourself?
Oh my god!
I mean, yeah. if you want him to die, you have to put into aspect that, would you kill yourself? Would you commit suicide? I mean, would you get a gun, put it in your mouth, and just pull the trigger? No, you would not, because you have a little voice in your head, or you have a feeling that it would hurt, and I don't want to die. Snake obviously had that feeling, and it made him more human than anything else, and I
Oh my
like that,
god.
because that the whole series, he didn't really have any human aspects to him. All he had was
Sounds
just
exactly
morals,
the
and
same.
he'd be like, he would talk about
Oh no.
how bad war is, but then just for him,
Oh no.
it made Snake out more human than he usually was. So I think it's a good ending. I think it's a great way to tie loose ends. It's a fair argument if you talk about Big Boss being in there. Yeah, it's a fair argument saying, well, they just brought Big Boss just to dumb down the ending
Oh my
for everyone that
god.
so it's not late and all that. So
Oh.
I guess it's a fair argument with that, but
I think I
I think it was a
recorded this
good
like
ending. I
4
think
in
it
the
was
morning.
perfect, and it was just
Imagine if I
what
was
the
stoned.
series
I
needed.
don't think so.
And
I
it
think
was
I was sober here.
epic. It was, it was a little dramatic. I gotta say, it was a very good ending
What the fuck
for
is...
a very good series like that. So,
oh my god. Look at the mess behind
so
me.
stop
Jeez.
bitching about how you want Stink to die, because he
Stop bitching.
deserved to live, and he did not
He
deserve to die.
deserved to
He
live.
deserved
You
to
don't
live life as a
understand. You don't
man,
understand
since
the,
he
the
kept living
ramifications.
life as a soldier. So, I think the ending was perfect. I don't care what anyone else thinks.
Perfect.
That's all for today's soapbox.
That's it. All of that was just saying the game was good, great ending. Would you kill yourself? Well, let me tell you, I don't think you would. That's why it's perfect. What a great video. I was on point. Uh, I even commented saying, "Hey Theo, I like your content. Keep up the good work." Big ups to young me. Big ups. Tap tap revenge.
Because I remember the first one, hard and extreme, seemed very the same to me. Like, if I played hard, I could do extreme.
Okay. That's it. That's it for the stream. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will stream the rest of Ask the King sometime this week or next week, whenever I get the time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming out. Hope you had fun. I had fun. Theo had fun for sure. But hope you guys had fun. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay, there it is.